Podcast.
Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, covering World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am Bobby, also known as Blazin' Bob, and I'm joined by Mel, aka Melarina. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Good. That's all I get.
That's all you get.
Okay. Fair. We've got some other stuff later on that I'm sure you're going to be excited to talk about, but also joining us once again are some call him the new Duranosaur, but he's definitely the guest that comes on the most. How you doing, Classic Go?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back for the second time.
Second time, huh?
Second time. Second time of the last 3 weeks. No.
Welcome back. And joining us.
I don't know that you've been on with me, though.
This is the third or fourth time with you, I think.
Oh.
Maybe like 5 or 6 total, something like that.
Oh, man. All right. Well, and for the first time on the show, another member of the Mere Casuals podcast crew. We have Josh, a.k.a. Will Riker. How you doing?
I'm doing very good.
Very good.
So I'm one-upping the good.
One-upping the good. Just awesome. Well, I've noticed we're on the call here. You guys both have the beards, right?
Mine is much lesser so, though.
But both of you have the stash in the beard, and I've been growing out a stash. This is the longest I've ever let it grow, I think, ever.
It's awful.
And it's getting just a little bit past that prickly stage where you're like, every time you scrub it, it's like poking you, and you're like, ah. But I'm learning something new. Do you have to drink differently? Because I've been drinking, and every time I take a big drink of something, I'm wiping it off of my thing.
It depends how much you want to save for later.
Yeah.
Well, it's been, I've started to take a drink where I tilt my lip up. And just kind of but see, I'm also,
that even makes the mustache even more attractive, as if it wasn't attractive enough to begin with.
Well, I also wonder.
Well, you gotta either go in under, or you gotta part it and then drink. There's a couple different techniques. I used to have the full bushy beard, and my wife won't let me anymore. She hated it. So but it's an adjustment for sure.
Yeah, it's just really weird. And I wonder if people with big lips don't have as much of a problem. See, I have no upper lip, no top lip. So I wonder if people with a big juicy top lip don't have to worry about the stash getting in there as much.
It gets worse too when it gets longer. If you drink any canned beverage, the hair gets stuck in the tab, and it'll pluck it out.
Oh,
and that's the sound.
The worst.
That sound will haunt your dreams, and you're like, okay, it's time to shave that down a little bit.
Well, I have been I would have gone nuts. I have been trimming the top of it where the lip goes, because I would have just lost my mind if it was just poking me on the bottom of the lip every time.
Oh, you get used to that.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah,
no, you don't.
Nope. And then it'll start to come in from the sides, and then you'll chew it on accident or something. Or
I've trimmed those down. See, I've trimmed all underneath it, and I'm trying to keep that part trimmed, just because that will drive me nuts.
Is this related to WoW at all?
I don't know.
There are a lot of
tangent.
WoW players.
The new Sons of Hodir tabard has a nice beard, so we're just
got it.
That's a connection. Yeah,
really bringing it back.
Sons of Hodir.
I just wanted to see what it would look like fully grown in. I've grown it out just a little bit shorter than this before, and then shaved just the stash, and I'll chase Mel around the house for a good Saturday. But be like, hey, you do.
Yep, and then he sleeps on the couch for a good month.
Oh yeah, I don't know, dude. Another thing. Oh, something that happened to me just the other day. I've been on the road a lot the last week and had to answer a lot of people in Discord, but I'm like, dude, I cannot stop the car to type every time. So I've been doing this thing where I do talk to text, right? And talk to text has gotten a little too accurate. I literally reread one of my talk to text to Jaw, the guy that runs Mash Those Buttons, and it recorded all of my stutters. I had work in there twice. Like I had like double words because I stuttered on the word. And I was just like, well, this is okay. This is a little too accurate now. Like you're shaming me for stuttering right now. Oh yeah. I don't know.
No, maybe you meant to say work twice. You're emphasizing, you know?
I don't know. I just thought it was funny, but
There's got to be some kind of stutter filter you can put on that.
maybe I could get it for the podcast. Just hear these long pauses. That's where it's like not putting in my stutter. All right. Well, welcome to the show, guys. This is a show about World of Warcraft. We're getting to that. I'd like to start the show by thanking our tank patrons, the Thick Lizzie, Croxford, Braxton, and Turtle Whale. I'd like to mention we stream this show live on Twitch, twitch.tv/BlazinBob. It's BlazinBob. We also have a new Discord server. If you guys would like to join and jump in, the link on the website has been fixed. The link in the show notes definitely works. It's discord.me/Warcraft Reloaded if you just want to type it in. But remember, that's .me, M-E, not .gg. .gg, you have to have a huge server to actually get one of those URLs. So discord.me/Warcraft Reloaded. Little quick thing for Rested XP. They have a new guide coming out. You can pre-order it now. It's the Hardcore Survival Guide. The guide in the past did have a hardcore option, like a version, but it was more meant for like speed runners and speed running. And there was a lot of things that were a little too tough for the majority of people trying to level. It's like more of an advanced type of deal. So they're coming out with the one that helps everybody get to level 60 in hardcore. And they've had people like Ompy, who was on the show last week, Nom Nom Hardcore, contributed to it. A bunch of like veteran hardcore players have contributed to it. So definitely check that out and use our code at checkout or the link in the description. Our code is Reloaded. What else do I have? Oh, we didn't get any new voicemails this week. If you guys want to leave one, it's 816-866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded. Send those in because those are fun. And I'm always bummed the weeks we don't have any.
Right?
And then,
Nobody loves it.
We're going to get into what we've been doing in WoW lately. We're going to get into a couple questions from the Discord server. So you can join the Discord and leave questions like that and have them on the show, possibly. We're going to get into the news. Then we're going to get to know Josh a little bit better at the end of the show and a little bit more about the Mere Casuals podcast. So with that being said, let's jump in. What have you guys been doing?
Josh, go ahead.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, get it, man.
Okay, so this week, I'm actually going to start a week back. I had a rather rough experience in a raid about a week and a half ago. It was just a complete disaster, and it actually turned me off of raiding almost completely. So I decided to take a break from it this week.
I think Go might have been in that raid with you. He might have been leading it.
He might have been. Yeah, he might have been there. I'm sure he knows what I'm talking about. It was a fun time.
Go was like, Mommy, can I go to bed?
I tapped
we
out.
all got lots of sleep that night.
Yeah, I was the first to give up. I was like, guys, it's 3 a.m.
If you guys want to hear the whole story, you could definitely, Josh tells the whole story in detail on the Mere Casuals podcast, the most recent episode. So check that out.
Try to get as many plugs in as I can. So this past week, I actually managed to convince Sam, my wife / Mere Casuals co-host, to boost a character on Benediction because we transferred over there. I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago now. I've been there for a while. Sam and Al made some lower levels. I convinced them to boost up. So we've been working on her. She's a disc priest right now. So she's basically following me around healing, and we are just kind of boosting in dungeons. We've done a lot of Old Kingdom because I don't have all my gear that I had over on my old server. So there's only so much I can do. So we've been running those for experience. And when she's not on, I've been leveling a warrior on Benediction because I've always liked warriors.
Me too. Me too.
It's
Leveling
what
them
the
up.
best.
Just, I don't know about that.
What is this? What was this raid though? I didn't go to this. This was late at night.
Oh, I guess I didn't tell Mel about it.
Agent hours over here.
Yeah, it was pretty late for East Coast. I'm
It was
an hour ahead of you guys, or an hour ahead of you guys.
It was a 6-hour partial clear of Alduar 10.
Nope.
Normal modes.
What?
We did get most of the hard modes done. Which one did we?
I thought you said normal modes.
It's probably what we should have done.
I thought it was.
No, we did. We struggled through the hards. We stopped just short of Mimron. I think the final straw was Squid Gaming it through the Mimron trash. And when we got to the end of that, I just said, you know what? I have to get up in 2 hours. I'm going to bed. You guys do what you want to do. And then the raid ended because I was holding the whole thing together, apparently.
If it makes you feel any better, we would have for sure done Mimron normal mode. The whole thing stemmed it was 4 people from another guild teamed up with 6 people from ours. Nettie was there, Skeet was there, Go was there, Josh was there, I was there. I forget who else was there at the beginning. There was one other person there, but we went in. We just destroyed Flame Leviathan. I don't know who was in the other demo, but as long as you have 2 demos that know what they're doing, that's pretty easy. But we got through that just fine. Then we went to XT, and XT hard mode was going horribly, really bad. And then finally, after many wipes and replacing this one shaman, we replaced the shaman with Cassimo. Cassimo was in there on his rogue at first, and then he switched over to his shaman when one of the shaman in their guild just disconnected. And then we did beat
by accident.
We did beat XT, and then we went into council, and I was trying to do all the pumper strats. It's hilarious because we wiped a couple times, and Nettie's like, "Bub, we tried to do the pumper strats, and I just don't think we have the gear to do that." I'm like, "Nah, dude, we got this." And I was like, "Okay, I'll get on my warrior, and I will tank." And then we know how to do all this stuff. It did work. We did get council down, and then went on Kolagard. We did hard mode Thorum. I don't remember did we beat the time on Hodir? I think we did.
We did,
get Hodir, yeah.
Yeah, we got Hodir. We got all the hard modes that we tried eventually.
I missed it. Before we beat council, the other 3 of the other guild just disconnected all of a sudden.
So if I remember correctly, council was from just before midnight until 2 a.m. was the stretch that we were on council, including 45 minutes of sitting, waiting for people to join and then quit, and then join and then quit, and then join and then quit.
Absolutely not. This is why I don't do things like that.
I don't know if it was that long.
I would have raged.
But we got LZ to come in on his rogue. We got a few, good players to come in, and then we pretty much were fine at that point, but everybody was tired and
someone
beat up.
Someone started a wake up Mel chant, I think, at one point.
Did you hear Mel yell at Bobby or something? That usually happens.
I think it was them chanting.
No, it was someone in raid started chanting to go wake you up because we needed proper heals.
Oh yeah.
I don't remember who that was.
Better.
Yeah, I was like, that's not going to happen. It was. I should have just
been down that road before, where he's tried to wake me up, and he's like, "We really need heals," and I am a very nice person when you wake me up and I'm really tired, really nice. So he doesn't like that.
Oh yeah,
I'm the
free
same
was
way.
the other one
If I
in
get
there.
woken up.
Oh my God. I can't tell you how many times I've woken up to him being such a just stupid loud on Discord with people, and he'll wake me up out of a deep sleep, and I'm just like, and then I get really angry, and then I try to go turn off his computer. He usually catches me before that, but
Just hit
I'm like,
the breaker instead.
yeah, I mean,
She did
seriously,
that
like
once.
the things that go through my mind are like, I'm like, you have one more chance. If not, I am turning off all of the power in the house.
Oh, she's come over and hit the power button. I'm like, I'm streaming. She's like, not anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I guess stream's over.
You got to keep your power button close.
Oh yeah, to have like a quah. But yeah, no, when she's in that mode, I know not to mess with her when she's been woken up. I'm just like, I just kind of like protect your face and your groin, and you're good.
Because I have to throw something at him to get his attention because he's just sitting there. Ah! And I'm like, Bob.
You're like spiking
Bob!
out your mic, Mel, somehow.
Sorry. I'm getting angry.
Yeah, you can tell how agitated she's getting over this. So you gotta be
Right?
careful.
Should have just done mostly normals and done the easy or hard modes. But to be fair, council is an easy or hard mode. Like the guys that we brought in were a little sus in skill wise.
And 10 man, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What else have you been up to, Josh? Other than the raid? Because
Yeah, that's it. Just leveling and
bad
farming,
memories.
doing dailies, trying to save up some gold for GDKPs because I need to get myself a weapon. I'm using the blacksmithed two-handed hammer, like 200 item level, and it's so bad because I've got good gear on my Ret Pally over on Ash Candy, and just being over here, I love the server because there's so much going on, but I've got like a full Ret set and a full tank set over there, and it's so hard not having that. And I'm so tempted to just go buy some gold and be like, I will give someone 30,000 gold to just get me a decent two-hander. I don't care what I have to do.
Right. Oh, man.
Warcraft Reloaded does not condone the buying or selling of gold.
I said I was tempted. I didn't say I was going to. You're allowed to be tempted. Nothing wrong with temptation.
Right.
What about you, Go?
I've gotten 2 of the mounts that you can farm. I got Anzu, the Raven Lord mount from Sethek Halls, and then I got the Tiger mount from ZG.
You got it?
You got it?
Yeah.
You never told me. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
I
You were
got
there
it,
when I got mine.
Tuesday. Yeah, I got it Tuesday before raid. And then the Anzu mount I got like 4 days prior. So before the show, I was trying to farm I was trying to farm Stratholm for the Baron mount. I was like, yo, my luck's been good. Let me try to get a third mount in before the show.
Roll.
Yeah.
That's where you got all that rune cloth from then.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Rune cloth prices, check on your servers right now because it spiked on Mancrick. So maybe you can make some extra gold yourself. But
I don't know why that would be. Like, what?
Yeah.
People switching into blacksmithing, but do you need much rune cloth in blacksmithing?
I mean, people are going tailoring.
I was going to say it'd be tailoring, which is what I would think, but.
Or maybe there's more perks from the tournament stuff with TOC coming out and people want to max out their city reps.
Mm-hmm. City rep too. I know
city reps could be a big deal, yeah.
A guildie just bought out like the rune cloth the other day to max out her rep for a lot of the factions. So yeah, it could be that too.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I bought Flare on my alt because my alt runs in a GKP. So I bought Flare of the Heavens for 77k, which is the cheapest of the 4 that have dropped. So I feel like I saved gold.
Oh my God.
And I'm up to 14 fragments out of the 30 for Valnir on that tune. So I'm almost halfway there. It doesn't look like I'm going to get it before phase 3 launches though. So
yeah,
that's getting close.
Those are so hit and miss. It's so weird. And we were getting a ton for our second one in our weekday raid. And then I made the comment like, we're getting so many. And they're like, Bob, no.
Oh.
And then no drop for like ever, and then like now it's just the running joke. I'm like, guys, no.
Mm-hmm. I feel like the drop rate's gone down in both of our raids. Like the GDKP, I've on average gotten like 2.5 per raid.
Probably Bob's fault too.
And then our main raid, like our second Valnir's only a couple fragments ahead of me. It's like, dang.
Oh wow.
What else did I do? I'm 1 day away. So tomorrow I can finish my last faction for the Argent tournament dailies with Silver Moon since I'm Horde. And then I'll have all five.
What do you
all
get for
five
that?
factions done.
Bunch of mounts and stuff.
It opens up some vendors.
Yeah.
Quests. You get some more quests. More
You do
dailies.
get a dude you could use to get stuff from your bank or put stuff in your bank or something that you can use once every 4 hours. You do get
Not
that.
till next phase, though.
Yeah. But I mean, it's something. I'm currently on the second to last one halfway through, and I'll go 3 days doing it, and then I'll be like, I can't do it. I can't do it. And I'll come back a week later and do 3 more days.
Second one.
You might even still be on the first.
Jesus.
I did it 28 days straight to max it out on my Horde characters.
Oh. Can't do it.
Forget that. Oh, for me, this week I've been raid logging a fair amount. Just taking a little short break just to like regen. I want to do some hardcore, but I'm like, well, Mel and I are like, do we just wait for the servers? But we don't know when the servers are coming, so it's just like, well, I don't know. I don't know. Let's just watch shows, So we're just kind of like, we do this from time to time, just take a little bit of a breather, just to, Also, like, nobody's messages me to do anything, so I'm like, well, nobody needs me. I'm okay, But yeah, that's.
I just don't check my messages,
Just haven't been doing a ton. But last week we did go into. I didn't talk about it on the show because we had so much to talk about with the end of the hardcore all stars and the new servers coming. But I did check out the PTR. Go was there. We got to the PvP boss on heroic. Like, I thought we were on normal. Was kind of like sad. I was like, I figured we could have just beat it on normal in one night. But we were there, like an hour and a half, 2 hours. And we did
something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we did it up to that. And then we felt pretty good about that. It seems like it's going to be pretty easy. Like, for the majority, like it's going to be the opposite of last Cold War.
A noob is still going to be chokehold. People are going to be wiping on a noob, not getting their 50 out of 50 for the first 2 months.
Think so?
Yeah, a noob I saw today.
Just having to learn how to keep everybody low health.
Yeah, that's where it was going up. They had 17 wipes today, I think, and didn't end up downing it because it was like a 3.5, 4 hour run.
So what is the mechanic on that? Everyone has to be low health? I don't know this. I've never done TOC, so.
Yeah, except for the tanks. The tanks need to be topped off still, but everybody else basically needs to be like between 50 and 0.
Yeah, there's a life leech. It leeches more the more health you have, the way I understand it. I don't remember it exactly, and I haven't done it yet, but that's the way it works. And then...
So do you just not take as many healers? You have to have your healers with an off spec? Because I don't have a shadow spec. It's not happening.
That's why Scotty J said that this will be the one instance where you might just want to down rank, even though it doesn't really do anything for you. It just makes it so your regular cadence is kind of more normal rather than.
I'm just saying it's not necessary, right? You'd rather kill it faster and have more people DPSing than have a bunch of healers.
Yeah, the more you're healing your raid, the more the boss gets healed. So it's a tough balance.
Yeah,
and you can't just DPS through it.
Not today, yeah, and they also made it harder because before you were everybody made tank shield block sets, not everybody, paladins and warriors did, and because of the way the interactions with the new client, with the new Dragonflight client that's in there, the interactions now do the math in a different order, and therefore the block sets do not work anymore. So all that time I spent fixing up my block set was kind of a waste.
Did you ever end up getting the Violet Hold one that you needed?
No, but at least I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Think of all the fun you had running Violet Hold over and over again, though.
Nope.
No,
I think I healed that. Didn't I heal that one day? That's like the first time I've ever dungeon healed, and I think we like 3-manned it.
Yeah, probably because Mel refused to do it.
I mean, you could we might have even 2-manned it. I think we 3-manned it because someone needed like a piece of gear or something, or was willing to come along. Me. Oh yeah, okay, yep.
Yeah, you healed at the time I went, and I contributed, kind of.
Oh yeah,
I think I had about a 2,400 gear score at the time. So, I mean, I was there. I hit my buttons.
Another thing I did was I made everything for Jeeves, except for the 2 epic gems. So my Jeeves is ready to go. I learned the pattern. I got all the bots, all the Titan steel bars, everything ready to go.
I've had that forever in my bag, just sitting there on both on 2 different characters. It's hard. So that'll be a nice, few bank slots I can open up.
Mm-hmm.
Am I oblivious, or did Bob grow out a mustache? It's not really grown in yet. It's the start of one. We had a little talk about it at the start of the podcast.
We're not talking about
I'm the only one that actually didn't notice. You look the same to me.
I look very different to me. When I look in the mirror, I'm like,
well, you know what? You're just a little box on my screen over there right now. So it's all just a blur. So I haven't been doing a ton, but I like to take a little bit of a raid loggy break prior to a new tier coming out. It's just a good reset. I really recommend it for everybody. I think raid logging it from time to time is healthy and will keep you from getting burnt out.
I offered to sit in our 10-man this week for the first time because I got all my gear and I was like, okay, I like to raid. If you need me, let me know, but I'll be on the bench if you guys want that too. And I got benched and I was like, okay.
Yep.
Okay. What do I do now?
Afterwards, yeah. I was like, what do I do?
Nice.
We finished It Takes Two on the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, we did.
That was a lot of fun. It's a great game.
It's on PC and it's on everything, but it's like a puzzle game where you have to work together in tandem to solve problems, and it's hilarious. You just different times frustrated, and then you're all excited, high-fiving each other, and then you're like, why did you do that? And you're like, okay. Yeah, it's a fun time. But
yeah, it also doesn't help that I'm really bad with a controller. And so there are a lot of times where it's like you have to do this and this, and when I have to turn my camera view on the controller and do something else at the same time, it does not work out. I'm either looking straight up or straight down or the completely wrong direction. I don't know. But that frustrates Bob a lot.
She's a lot better. You've either gotten a lot better or you're just a lot better in the third person. But man, first person shooters, you'll lose your mind trying to watch her because you'll be like, okay, you're still looking at your feet. Okay, you're still looking at your feet. Okay, now you're looking at the ceiling. Okay. No, just pause. When you went from looking at the ceiling to looking at your feet, just pause in between there. And then it's like,
shut up.
Okay, you don't have to push the controller. You don't have to push it all the way up to look up. You could just push it halfway.
Well, then he got me these little things that you put on the little joysticks that make them stick up higher or something.
Yeah, it gives you more accuracy on the controller.
Yeah, well, I just kept pulling them off when I would try, because when I'm turning right, I don't stop, I don't push it all the way to the right and then hold it. It's just a constant push to the right. So then the little thing would pop off, and then I'd have one long one and one short one, and I was like, I can't do this. It's there's no pause button. There's totally a pause button, but I guess I'm so used to playing games where you can't just pause it all of a sudden, and yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
but it was a lot of fun.
Yep, it was a good time, and you definitely controlled better on that. You probably got better by the end too. It's just funny when I think about me going around a corner. I'm using both sticks, like strafing a little bit to the left while with the other controller turning to the right, you know, and it's so fluid. And then like she keeps on and she's like, looks to the right, then walks forward, then looks to the left, then walks forward. It's just like, okay, this is
that's how I make it work.
You do just fine on the like doing a first person shooter on the computer. I don't get it. Like there's just some sort of disconnect with the controller.
It's different with like the movements. No, like it'd be like if I had two mice and I was like trying to control. Nope, it's not how it works.
Two mice. Ooh.
He's like, ooh, yeah, can I do that? Just bind everything to your two mice. Yeah. Forget WASD. Like, get two mice.
Huh.
I don't just click play. I click play with both hands.
Right? Next level.
I want like a different mouse on the other hand with like, ooh, that could be cool. I don't know. Thoughts here. Maybe we'll patent it. Oh, anything else? Anything else anybody's been doing?
Soloing more stuff because that's what I do. You know, I soloed Nexus and Utgard Keep, and then last night I soloed Azul Norub.
Azul Norub.
And then I got Old Kingdom to do maybe tonight. I don't know. But I'm moving up. I'm going all the way through all the Wrath dungeons on normal. I'm soloing all of them.
Who's moving on up in Northrend?
There we go.
So that last dungeon that's gonna whoop his ass.
I had a little preview in Halls of Lightning, and I got past the first boss. So like that kind of gave me the confidence boost to like go through all of them. I'm like, Halls of Lightning's one of the last ones, and if I can at least do one boss in there, then maybe this is possible.
I like it. I like doing that stuff too.
Should I tell him how easy it is to solo the normal dungeons with a prot paladin?
I'm glad you didn't say to respect bear, because I get that all the time. Like, dude, just go bear for him. Like, come on. They're like, no, I refuse.
Prot pal is still like crazy easier though. Like I could do it as a prot warrior, but like there's some planning that goes into certain things. Like, okay, what am I going to use this cooldown? Okay, I need to do this. There's a mental checklist where it's like paladin. Oh, I'm low on health. I'll switch this. Oh, now I'm low on mana. I'll switch this.
You don't really have to do anything. It all takes care of itself as a prot pally. You just go in, you start attacking, and just, you know, your health just appears. Your mana regens on its own. The mob's hitting you does damage. It's just, it's easy mode.
There was some epic quest we did, and Melissa was so new to paladin, and we were doing this elite quest. And I was like, all right, well, I died. We're dead because I was the healer. And she just, over the next like 2-minute period, solos it. And I was like, this class is fucking broken.
I remember in ZG, we went back and tried to do ZG, Hakar, the last boss. And everybody died. I forget who all we had with us. Everybody died but her. And she's just like soloed it for 10 minutes. And she's like, oh, I got it. Like,
so
what?
Funny.
Yeah, there's a funny story with my prot pally when I was leveling. There's a series of quests in Ice Crown, like the first chain that you get at that little camp, right? And there's one quest where it gives you this horn where you have to summon a Death Knight and you go kill these 3 elite mobs. I don't always read the quests. So I got that quest and I was like, okay, I gotta go kill these things. So I went and I killed it on my paladin. And I'm fighting the thing, and it took me like 7 minutes to kill this mob. I'm like, what is this quest? Like, I get that it's elite, but like, are people supposed to be able to do this? And then I read the quest. I'm supposed to summon this Death Knight that kills it in like 20 seconds. But yeah, it really wasn't that hard to solo it as a paladin because I just attack for a while, then heal, then, you know, turn on some extra mitigation, turn on my healing attack, and you can just sit there forever. You don't even need those vehicles and special items and stuff.
That quest chain. So Mel and I did that duo working up, and like we didn't summon the people at all. She healed me and I just prot warriored through it. Then I did it on my rogue too. This was all in the first like couple weeks of release. I did it on my rogue too. And I got in a group of 3, and we did it, and none of us summoned the Death Knight. It's just so funny because no one reads the quest text. Oh my
Well,
god.
I mean, you accept the quest. You look at your map because Questy tells you where to go. I mean, you don't need to read those things.
On
It's a
my
waste of time.
on my second rogue, I walked in to do the first one, and someone had the Death Knight summon. I was like, how'd they get a Death Knight? And I was just like, I had to wait on the spawn, so I was just reading the quest, and I was like, oh. Because I was like, I was like, maybe I'll just message somebody to come help me real quick with this. Nope. Yeah, so funny because read the quest, right? Oh, there's also like Mel and I trying to kill the joust guys in an Ice Crown, the elite joust guys. We're like, why did they keep running away? Like, why didn't you just stay and fight us?
Oh my god, it was so annoying.
Oh, you weren't mounted?
No, I'm just
to
taking, and it just keeps riding off and then riding back in. And I'm like, what is it doing? And then Mel's like,
So
oh.
if you do them unmounted, do the like 3 little shields show up above their head or whatever?
I don't think so.
Did you guys not wonder what that was all about?
Maybe they did, but we did this like early on, like the first week that the stuff was open. So like,
yeah, I mean, it should have been obvious that he was trying to joust us. It's not like we hadn't done any of the other jousting ones. It just wasn't in the same area, so we were just very confused. It was silly. We are aware now. No worries. All right. Well, Bob walked away, but we did have a couple Discord questions. So Mr. Winky asked, what your favorite show to watch while mindlessly grinding ults is? Anyone?
I've been watching a show called Rabbit Hole on Paramount Plus with Kiefer Sutherland. And
That's on my list. Is it good?
Yeah. It's kind of weird, and I'm like, I need to finish these last 2 episodes because there's like all these things, like what's actually going on. Because like you can tell there's something wrong during the whole show. Something's not being told fully, and I'm waiting for that final episode, and I'm almost there. But yeah, that's what I've been watching on the second monitor.
I feel like I'm a little bit different because I've never grinded an alt by myself. I always level with Bob. So we've watched shows together though, but usually like he's doing things wrong, so I have to tell him that he needs to follow me or do something different, or what are you doing over there? Keep him on task. And so usually we talk a lot. So we like to watch shows that are like
documentaries a lot of times.
Yeah, like not so like in depth, like you have to pay attention the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So like
something
the
you've
documentaries
seen
and things
4
like
times
that.
before. Like
No,
rewatching
I don't like to rewatch things. That's also not a thing for me. I'm not a huge like. I've already seen it. I know what's coming. I also have a really horrible.
It's more like documentaries, like like the weird Netflix things that just like really that's it. But really now, like that I stream, like we're the entertainment at that point. Like so. I love podcasts though. If I'm by myself, like, and I'm not streaming, like podcasts is what I'm going to listen to a lot of the time. What about you, Josh?
So I don't have like a TV near my computer. Like I just have all computers. So what I always do if I'm grinding is I watch YouTube, and I'll find a channel that I kind of latch onto, and I'll just binge the channel from start to finish. Like I'm a big like sci-fi nerd, so the one I've been watching lately is called Quinn's Ideas, and he does like these long form like YouTube essays on different science fiction series. Like I've watched through all his videos on Dune and the 3-body problem recently, and there's a list of other ones he's got, but that's kind of my go-to because you don't really have to watch it. So I'm more just listening to these YouTube essays, and occasionally I'll look if there's like a visual cue that I need to see. But I usually just set that up on my phone, propped up on my monitor, and I've got that going while I'm grinding, and I'll get through hours of YouTube videos while leveling an ult.
I'll listen to stuff like I've caught up on all of Mad Season's essays. He does them on games and stuff though, but I'll often like just put those on to go to bed.
Yeah, the Mr. Ballin on YouTube in his spooky stories. Have you guys ever heard that?
Maybe if I saw him.
He's an ex-Navy SEAL.
Yeah. I've seen him then. Yeah.
He's great.
He ruined.
Mel got addicted to that shit. She was just watching him 24/7
for me. Well, not really, but I watched the one about the girl that got sucked out the window on a Southwest flight. Do you guys remember that story?
Did that actually happen?
Oh yeah.
Well, she got half sucked out, which killed her and crushed her.
Oh, that's like worse.
Yeah.
Well, it was better for the rest of the plane because she blocked the window.
Yeah, but if you get all the way sucked out, at least you get to go skydiving before you die.
Stabilize the pressure.
But then everybody else, so she took one for the team. But ever since then, I legit cannot sit in the window seat. Like, it just can't happen. And that stinks because the window seat was kind of nice, right? You could lay your head on the window. And not when you're sitting there thinking something's going to break the window and you might get sucked out. But yeah, I like to watch it.
The window, do you remember?
Something on the engine, something came loose and it flew out and just
hit the window.
Window.
Yeah, what are the odds of that happening twice?
A window seat in front of the engine is fine then. Good. Well, as long as you're not behind the wings, you're good.
Yeah.
Probably I don't know. Safer,
I mean, you got some crazy birds out there, maybe. Somebody's heard about the Southwest windows not, holding up.
I don't know what airline it was, but did you see the one where the cockpit window broke and the pilot got sucked out, and the co-pilot caught the guy's legs, and they actually landed the plane with the co-pilot out the window of the plane. Mm-hmm. And he was hurt, but he wasn't killed. And they were able to land the plane with the co-pilot flapping out the front window of the plane. Or no, the pilot, sorry, the co-pilot landed it.
Talking about windburn. Holy shit.
Well, and I think pretty bruised up. They could have saved this girl, but I think there was so much commotion around the plane. Nobody even realized, except for the person next to her, that she was outside the window. It's crazy. So yeah, if you ever need, some scary stories to terrify you and
just stories about a dude working on one of those oil oil things out in the ocean, and he was repairing something, and the person that turned on the thing to pull him up, his cable up, got distracted and let it keep going, and it pulled the guy through a hole the size of a basketball. And that one pulled him all the way through.
Nope.
Yeah.
You guys ever think I feel like the older I get, there's so many things that I did when I was young that I look back on now and I'm like, you idiot. You're lucky to be alive, right?
Dude.
And then now I feel like there's just we were at Main Event the other day, and there's this hurricane simulator machine. And Bob's like, hey, you should get in the hurricane simulator. And I was like, see, to me, that looks like a disaster waiting to happen. Something's going to happen. I'm going to get in there. It's going to suck my hair up or something. I'm going to lose my head. This is what goes through my mind now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to play video games. Okay.
That's what I was going to say. That's why I sit in my house playing video games. It's safe.
Dude, when I was 17, I got on the top of a car, the roof of a car. My friend was driving. Held on, he had the windows down, held on to the inside of the car via the windows being opened. Then he drove 80 miles an hour through the Hy-Vee parking lot, and then did a where you throw the hand brake and you crank the wheel to the left and you fishtail. He did that.
Sounds safe.
And I stayed on, and I was and at the time I was like, that was awesome. And I thought to myself later on in life, God, you were an idiot.
When I was in high school, when my one friend got his license and got a car, we decided to pretend we were stuntmen. And we did this more than once. We went to a parking lot and we would take turns hitting each other with the car. We would do it slowly, just slow enough so that you could kind of hit the car and do the roll up on the hood and roll off the other side thing.
Oh
and
my God.
We got pretty good at it, but it was stupid. Why do that?
All right, I'm gonna reel us back in.
Okay.
It's my fault anyway, but we have one more question from Zappit in Discord, and it is: why did Yogg Saron ask you what year you were born in? Why did Yogg Saron ask you what year you were born in?
Yeah, I don't know.
He wanted to know how old you are.
How old you are?
Yeah, you got to pronounce it right? So I saw that pun joke thing in the show notes that you send me. So I had to find a couple others of my own.
Oh, let's do it. Nice.
So what do you call 5 paladins in a moonwell?
Oh gosh. What do you call
bubble?
Oh, you're so close.
Bubble. Big league.
A bubble bath.
A bubble bath. You
bubble
got
bath,
it.
Yes.
So one more. Here's for this one's for some of your previous guests. How do you know someone's been playing WoW hardcore? Don't worry, they'll tell you.
True.
Oh man.
I was level 15 and I was in the Barrens in this elite mob.
That one time in hardcore?
Mm-hmm.
Oh
man. All right. Well, let's move into time for the news. Oh, I don't think any of us here care about this news, but it is news, and I'm sure other people care about it. The Arena Season 6 in Wrath of the Lich King ends May 29th. And the just like they did, all through TBC, the gear is going to be no longer locked to requirements, like rating requirements, and will be at a reduced price. And it doesn't say right here, but usually you have at least a week to buy that gear before you lose your arena points and have them converted to honor points. So if you guys couldn't get a weapon, Josh, this might be for you. Like maybe just like jump in some 2s or some 3s with the crew from Mere Casuals and just play 10 games and just get points, because they also upped the points you got during TBC. So really with like not even good rating, you actually get a fair amount of points. So you might be able to get like a
Does it
weapon
work if you lose
soon.
every match?
Yes.
Well, as long as you have an established rating, then yes.
But I mean, like it does. You still get like for nothing, you get like a fair amount of points. Like, yeah, you have to do it for weeks to get yourself a weapon, but I mean, there's a lot of people doing that too. So believe it or not, if you just like go hard on one target, as long as you guys call one target, you might just win a couple games. Like
That seems unlikely to me.
There's some really bad people in there just because they want the gear. I mean, I've had times where you log in and you just instantly get a win because they were just waiting for it to start and then they just quit out, like just to get the games in.
That would be nice.
Yeah, so I mean, you do get points for 0 wins. So just heads up there. Heads up to all you guys. So be something you could look to, weapons are big there if you've been unlucky. So that's really all I got to say about that, unless anybody really has an arena things. I haven't done any PvP.
It's usually an indication of when the next phase is launching too.
Oh, that is true.
That's true.
So since it's the 29th, then that means like the 6th or the 8th is probably when phase 3 should be going live.
I think generally it's been 2 weeks.
Give like 2 weeks,
because
right?
you have a week.
So probably the 13th.
Yeah, you got a week, but
I think the week after.
Also, though, the arena season has oftentimes started back up a week prior to the raids starting up. So that's definitely true. So that is a thing too. So I think we're looking at June June 22nd as the TOC release date.
That's so far away.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Nah.
That's over a month.
We're at the 19th. They're ending
Go with June 15th.
May 29th.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying like the 13th or 15th, like that week?
I think it could be the 15th, but I'm thinking more likely the 22nd.
Crazy.
I mean, if that's
22nd, that's the first I've heard of 22nd. You'd be the only one, and that'd be cool because you could be like, "See, guys, I told you."
But I mean,
insider info.
Preferred it to be the 15th. I just think that it might be the 22nd because I think the new arena season. I think the new arena season will start the 13th, and then I think we'll get the raids the following week. But I could be wrong.
I'm thinking arena 6th, and like if there's any new dailies or anything like that, like the heroic plus dungeons will be the 6th and everything, and then like Onyxia talk will come out the 8th, and then the new VOA boss on the 13th.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we've ever had an only 1 week. I think it's only been 2 weeks normally and 3 week breaks for our arena. I could be wrong though.
I'm gonna look it up right now while we continue the show.
Yeah, it could be. I could be wrong. Go get back to us with that. We'll move on to BlizzCon 2023 dates revealed November 3rd and 4th. Oh my God. Oh, it's coming back finally, guys. BlizzCon is returning November 3rd and 4th. What do you guys think about this? I know neither of you guys have been before. I'm
stressed out. I ordered my plane ticket and I booked my hotel room today.
There you go.
I'm scared. Like this is already a big investment, and I could like not even get a ticket to get inside because I know how fast the tickets usually sell.
The least of your worries.
Oh, honestly, you still have a blast being outside. I mean, honestly, we really would. Even if we didn't get tickets, we would still go, and then maybe find a way to get tickets.
Yeah, we did. We got our flight and our hotel. We got our hotel a little while ago. We guessed on the dates, but lucky for us, I travel a lot, and so our flight and half of our hotel we didn't have to pay for.
That would have saved me a good chunk because right now I'm in the hole a good pretty penny.
Where did you?
Our flight's completely free, and our hotel was half off with the points I had for the hotel.
What hotel did you end up going with?
Marriott.
The one right there?
Yeah.
The Anaheim Convention Center Marriott. Dude.
And I got 4% off for it's some kind of military thing. My dad's retired Army, and I work for the Department of Defense right now. So like, even if my dad wasn't like retired from the Army, I still could have signed up. And like I didn't know that until he told me. He was like, "Hey, go to this website and sign up for this." I can't think of what it's called, but I was like, "Oh, I could have signed up even if you hadn't served." But
wait, your dad? Wait, you work for the Department of Defense, or your dad?
It's he worked for the Army. I work for the Department of the Defense, but I just work on a Navy base as a civilian.
I was like, I thought you worked at a bowling alley.
Yeah, but it sounds cooler if I say Department of Defense, right? It's the way like the money's transferred and all that stuff. So
yeah,
it sounds cool.
Dude, that's awesome. We're at the Marriott too, and like the Hilton's cool and all, but it really is kind of the freshman bar hotel. Like, although it does have a pool, so we have to find somebody with a room at the Hilton to go sit in the pool or the hot tub. The Marriott has a pool. They just don't have the hot tub. So
just ask Amaranth wherever she's staying. If she goes, she'll have the hot tub.
She'll have the hot tub information. This is probably very true. It's probably very true. I remember one year we stayed an extra day at the Hilton like we just stayed an extra day, like after it was over, which never do that at BlizzCon. It's depressing. They were putting up HP logos everywhere, like during the day, and everybody was gone.
Of them tearing everything down, and then it was like a bunch of business people there, and you're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you're just like, get me home. But like, I mean, a lot of people stay an extra day and go to Disneyland. They call it DizCon, DizCon after BlizzCon, but. We should have done that. We didn't do that. We just depressedly sat in the hotel. But the night before was fun because there were still a few people there, and we snuck into, like, we climbed the fence and snuck into the hot tub at the Hilton, like in like 2 a.m.
I do remember that.
Yep, we had a good time doing that. But yeah, the Marriott I think is the best, and it's just right. I mean, it's literally across like. It's like half a city block from front door to front door. So both of them are right next to the convention. It makes everything a lot easier. And yeah, but I don't even know. Like Josh, you said you hadn't even ever known about the virtual ticket, which is a huge thing too for people that don't get to go.
I had never really thought about it in the past, to be honest. Before this year and in the podcast we started doing, WoW was kind of just something, it was just like a game that I played in my spare time, right? So I was never a big part of the WoW community, so it never occurred to me to go to BlizzCon. But now that I'm kind of getting more involved in this whole community, and the more I hear about it, it's something that I would love to go to someday. It's very unlikely it'll happen this year, but maybe someday in the future. But yeah, it's I never thought about it.
Mel and I really didn't either. We did 1 year, like the year before we got married. We were like, hey, let's have a last hurrah and let's go with a whole bunch of people to a whole bunch of our real life friends played. Let's go to BlizzCon. If we would have went, this would have went in the BlizzCon. They announced for the first time Diablo 3, which was really cool. But we found out the hard way that tickets are really hard to get, and we failed. They usually do 2 runs of ticket sales. We failed both times. Then we started podcasting about Overwatch, 2015, 16, I don't remember when, but then we were like, well, Con Before the Storm is a thing that runs the day before BlizzCon, and I was asked if I wanted to be on the Overwatch panel for Con Before the Storm, and I was like, I just said yes, and then I was like, oh, now I got to figure out how to go, and like luckily I knew a lot of content creators at that point. They told me a lot of different secrets, like the day that their
fence in the back's really low.
Well, the day that they'll sell tickets in two batches, 2 different days. You need to be at your computer ready, have your autofill information all set up, have a credit card autofill set up in your browser. So all you got to type in is that CVS code, or CVC code. I don't know what it is. The three numbers in the back. Have all that set up, because even if you get into the checkout lane, that does not mean you have tickets. That just means you're in the checkout line and you have a chance to get them. So you have to fill that out as soon as humanly possible. And we figured out how to do it with just a few clicks. Bada bing, bada boom. Then once it says confirmed, you have your tickets. So 2017, 2018, and 2019, we were able to get tickets. And 2018, I got a press pass, and then 2019, Melissa we both got a press pass, so we were able to sell the tickets we bought. But every creator, I'm pretty sure, unless they're like crazy big, all buy tickets just in case, and then can sell them off if they see, that they have that they got, press passes, because it's not easy to get press for BlizzCon. But
so I'm gonna need a hookup.
Is there some sort of like PTR that goes up for doing that whole checkout process? Because that sounds very stressful to me. I feel like I would need to practice that a few times.
Well, you're in luck though. I don't know. They'll come out with the info, but they use the Universe ticket app this last time. So it was Universe, and so therefore you could already have your credit card saved to your account and everything. So you just had to click the button when you saw the just change it to 4 tickets or 2 tickets or whatever you want. And click it, right? So that made it a lot easier. They didn't do that before. It used to be like pretty rough, and the ticket site would go down. Like it was nuts before. Now, oh, and also if you wanted to transfer your ticket before 2019 when they started using the Universe app, you would have to go and wait in this long line with the person you're changing them over to and then change them over to it. Whereas now with the app, you can send it to another person and they can exchange the funds with you right there. Or actually, I don't know if they can exchange the funds with you. They might have to do that prior. I'm not sure how that works. I don't want to misspeak, but you can just put in the email address of the new person. It sends it to them, and then they can register, and it's all set before you get to BlizzCon. But it's definitely a hard thing to do, and Mel and I will be on 2 different, if not 3 different computers doing it. We'll try to buy 4 to definitely give to. Anybody's going to send me requests, I've already promised like ticket 3 and 4 if we get them to go first, and then only Black Smoke has promised the other one. So if they weren't to get tickets, they would be the first in line. But if you want to send me a DM and you're my friend, not just a listener, I will put you on the list to be next in line. Although who knows? Maybe we'll do a listener thing where they can go to BlizzCon.
You got to do a giveaway. You got to do a giveaway contest.
Might do it. Like that might be a thing. If we get press, we do it or something. But I don't know. People are always looking, and like the best thing is to do is have your friends just buy multiple ones, more than you need. I don't know of anybody who's ever not been able to sell a ticket even right up to 4 hours before the convention starts. So,
I mean, we were even at one BlizzCon where we were talking to people in like the parking lot at the Marriott, or in between the Marriott and the Hilton, and they were like, "Does anybody have an extra ticket?" Because they came down just to hang out, and they didn't have a ticket, and they were looking for one like the day, like the second day. For the second day, it does seem really short. Like it only being 2 days seems crazy.
Yeah, I had assumed it was longer. That seemed short to me.
Well, Con Before the Storm makes it longer. I mean, Con Before the Storm was really good. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get with the guys and see what their plans are, because normally they have a lot more time to plan. I don't know if they're going to be doing panels or anything. It might be lower, but there's always parties too. There's oh gosh, I forget the names of the parties, but there's different parties that you can go to. Like, I think WoWhead does a party, maybe. I don't know. A bunch of different like people sponsor different parties, and they're all in the different rooms of the different conference rooms of the Hilton and Marriott and stuff. And so there's like plenty of stuff to do. But I mean, anybody thinking about getting an Airbnb, I would like, this is the advice BlizzCon section, but I would recommend not doing it. They banned Airbnbs, I believe, in 2019 for the city of Anaheim. I assume all the hotels lobbied for that in the city to make sure that Airbnbs couldn't take all of their business, but you don't want to stay out of walking distance from the con. Everything happens at the con, and you want to be as close as possible. Just a heads up for you. So, I don't know. Is there anything else I missed there, Mel?
I don't think so.
I don't know. I'm just trying to help everybody out. Because like I know a lot of people that are trying to go for their first time, and I'm like, dude, gotta understand, you have to be at your computer 5 minutes prior to them going on sale. Once it says you're in the queue, do not refresh. That will restart your spot in the queue. Like, it is so hard.
You'll feel like you're stuck. Like, lots of times you'll like get this want to push the refresh button because you're like, I'm frozen. You're not.
Yep.
It's just slow. Yeah, I mean, I think as far as probably talk closer to BlizzCon about this, but as far as BlizzCon goes, I mean, it's more about the people than it is about the talks and the shows and things like that. Like, those are fun, and like I definitely go to a couple of them, but it's more about walking around, seeing the atmosphere, being around the people, meeting new people, making friends.
Yeah, the panels I can catch, on, because anybody who gets a ticket gets the online ticket free too. So for 6 months after the con, you could watch any of the panels, like just with the click of a button on the site. It's like super nice, like to catch up on anything you missed. If we get press, we'll hopefully get a few interviews, and those are the things that I want to go to. That and just like mingling with everybody that you don't see IRL all the time, and cornering Blizzard employees to tell you things they would never tell you in a DM. Yeah, those types of things are really, really fun. And yeah, the whole thing is just, it used to be the highlight of our year, and it's been gone for a while. And TwitchCon semi scratched that itch last year, but man, I can't wait for BlizzCon.
Yeah.
So when I was setting up my ticket in my like the hotel room and flight and everything this morning, I was having my dad help me because he travels a lot. So I was like, he probably knows the ins and outs of stuff. And then he asked me after I had bought the stuff, and he was like, "So what actually goes on during the BlizzCon?" And I was like, I don't know. I was like, I'm going to meet people. Yeah. Like, so what
explain?
What do they do in there? You said panels, but like what kind of panels are there?
Now, at Con Before the Storm or at BlizzCon?
At BlizzCon. Like, when you go into BlizzCon on Friday and Saturday, like what events are there for me to go check out?
I mean, there's a ton of things. There's the opening ceremony at the beginning, right, where they have all the big announcements for different franchises. And then after that, it's like there's a bunch of esports events that are kind of set up at different areas. There's a huge floor to walk around on with different booths and things to
the esports
like,
is normally in the arenas, but I guess they have esports in different areas too. You're right.
Yeah, I guess it's not. Yeah, I think Overwatch was always in the arena, but they had different esports events in different areas of the building. Then they've got a bunch of little sections with like a bunch of computers to trial out, games and things like that.
Try out all the new stuff
that they've announced. And then they have panels, like they have like the, interviews with the devs, or the Overwatch voice actors always had a panel. Like, that was the best one.
Remember, you think you do, but you don't? That was at a BlizzCon panel. That he said.
I thought I did, and I did.
Yeah.
And then, then there's the one we never missed. We always made it to was the Overwatch voice actor panel, which was always just a blast.
Yeah. So it's a lot of different things, and you kind of pick and choose. There's a bunch of things going on at the same time, right? Because, not everybody, most of the people that go aren't interested in every single franchise that's at BlizzCon, right? So you kind of spend some of your time in this area or that area. They've usually got this cool, like, Hearthstone Tavern area that has a lot of, like...
the Dark Moon Fair, where the Hearthstone Tavern resides.
Yeah.
The whole thing is the Dark Moon Fair.
And that's a lot of fun. But yeah, it's...
Yeah, that's where you finally got to meet, what's his name, face to face. God, what's his name? The guy you interviewed. Huge streamer. Crazy guy.
Oh, Moon.
Moon, yeah.
Crazy guy.
Then there's just like there's cosplay going on all out front, pictures being taken constantly. There's just so much going on, and then there's like God, I'm trying to think of
people everywhere.
The last night, the end of Saturday night, they usually have a band act, and this last time we went, there were 3 different ones. There was Hodor doing a DJ thing in one area. There was a violinist who does a ton of like video game music. I forget her name. And then there was
Train.
Where Mel made me go, Train.
100%.
I wanted to see Hodor, but I was pretty happy I saw Train. Train was actually pretty good. So, yeah.
Lindsay Sterling, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so like, you know, so there's those things. Also, pro tip to anybody, during the concert time, the Blizzard store is still open. So you can go, and normally it's a hour to 3 hour line to buy your merch. If you go during the concerts, because you could care less and just want merch, no line whatsoever. So just heads up there for a little pro tip.
Yeah,
too.
you can also go look at the store, and then you can buy online and pick up at the store.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Yeah,
that's a much delivered to my hotel room.
Yeah.
No, but you can't have weed delivered to your hotel room because they don't sell it in Anaheim. But you can like there's like you call up and it's a delivery service.
It's like bicycle service.
What was the one that so and so, I can't say names, but someone ordered some weed to the Hilton, and the guy, it was Grass and Go. That's it. It was like on the side of the car, just huge letters, Grass and Go. Like, I mean, like a car painted like a clown car, but it just shows up, just hands the guy a package, and he signs, and then he just walks it. You know, like it's just hilarious. It's a lot of fun.
And there was a bunch of gas stations called Gas and Grass.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, only in Colorado.
Yep, and they were medicinal only too, which is always funny to me. I don't know. Do we have?
It was clever. It was a clever name.
It is clever. Do we have anything to like go over? If you guys have any questions about BlizzCon, please like send in a voicemail, email, or Discord question, because we can answer a lot of stuff that we've trial and errored and learned the next time. Oh yeah, and if you drink, just get a room at the Hilton or the Marriott. I'm telling you, Mel and I stayed off-site one time. It was a good 15-minute walk because we thought we were real close to the convention center, but we were on the butt of it. And I guess there's not doors on that side.
We
had to walk all around this convention center
bad.
Completely. And so we had like with $12 to $15 drinks, we had a bar tab that was, you know, over the 4 days we were there, it was like thousands of dollars. You will save so much money just walking up to your room to refill your freaking glass. Like you will save way more than you spend on that expensive hotel room. So just a heads up, that is a huge pro tip. If you don't drink, you're golden.
Stay 15 minutes away.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised what I would pay to not have to walk all the way back up to my room to refill my drink. That sounds like such an inconvenience.
Oh, it's so much. And you take friends and you're like, let's go refill. You know, like it's a good ass time.
You have to get a party together with you to go with you to refill. Yeah.
Where's the nearest liquor store to the hotels?
3 blocks.
Perfect.
No, it might even be 2 blocks.
I love that.
CVS, I think, is two blocks. Oh, that's another thing. We get there Wednesday, and we go immediately to CVS and stock up for everything we're going to need for the weekend. If you get in Thursday, huh?
Yes, in Anaheim, you can. Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it is in most of the states, I think. In Kansas here, you can't, like, there's an actual liquor store, but we go to Missouri across, 10 blocks away, and we can just buy it at Walmart. But go to the CVS as soon as you check into your to your hotel, or go to wherever to get snacks, stock up. I remember we went in Friday, middle of the day during the con. We didn't go there Thursday because we had went there Wednesday to stock up. Friday, middle of the day, literally the shelves were barren because everybody had stocked up. So like get that stocking done fast, and just take care of priorities quickly because that store gets destroyed. Now there's another store down the street, but like that's the closest one, and it just gets annihilated every year.
Yeah, just prepare not to sleep too, you know. I guess that's just Bob and I. We don't sleep, but got to take it all in. It's only a couple days, right?
I mean, we get a good 3-4 hours of sleep each night.
Yeah.
The best was the first year we went. We stayed with like 5 people in the room the first night, and
oh my god,
I had my alarm set for 7 a.m. because I was ready to go. And my alarm was set to Not Vanya Wawakiro. I can't even say what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. And I remember the guy that was with us, Tank. He'd get a little like, he was one of those guys that like, if you rubbed him the wrong way, he was just like really in a bad mood. Like, and I remember the look he gave me, like, what the fuck is that, Bob? I was like, it's my alarm.
You all happy and chipper?
Yeah, and he was like, pillow overhead. I was just like, okay, well, all right. But yeah, it's a good time. If you guys have any like questions, send them in. We'd love to answer them for you before you go. And then definitely we'll do some sort of meetup. I don't know if we'll get together with all the other classic creators and maybe just like do one big meetup for like everybody type of deal. Maybe Thursday night somewhere, you know, in the hotel prior to what's going on. Then I'd like to Thursday during the day, maybe do a live podcast there. So like, you know, sometime, you know, mid-afternoon, early afternoon, just in the Hilton, like the Hilton's got a huge bar / I don't know. It's just a huge area with a ton of seats and everything everywhere. So I'd like to do like a little live show there. It'd be pretty cool. But all in all, we're in the initial stages of planning. But like I already have my tickets. We weren't able to buy plane tickets. It's literally cut off Saturday. The 4th is the last date we could schedule a flight for. So we scheduled our flights there. We just don't have our flights back because those won't be available till like the 8th of June or something like that.
Oh,
yeah, that's just Southwest.
Yeah, because I think I did one Delta, one American Airlines.
Yeah, I just always fly Southwest for work. So
tell me I gave you the tip about airport.
I'm going to John Wayne.
Yes. Okay.
SNA, I think is what it is.
Yeah. In Orange County. Yeah. Last pro tip, guys. Do not fly into LAX. Fly into John Wayne, Orange County. Yeah. It is literally a 10-minute Uber ride from John Wayne. It's an 1.5 to 2 hour ride, depending on traffic from LAX, and LAX is horrible to get in and out of. So, John Wayne, it'll cost a little more.
It doesn't though. It'll cost a little bit more. It might cost a little bit more to fly there, but the Uber ride from LAX to Anaheim Convention Center was literally like $200+.
Yeah, we had 4 people going, which helped. Like, we had 4 people crammed in the Uber, but like it was good. Like the first year, it was a good bonding experience for like us with like iPlay and everything because we hadn't like met him in person and stuff. So we talked the whole Uber ride, you know. So that was not horrible, but yeah,
it was still bad. All right, what else we got?
Yeah, I feel like we need to wait for Go for the next piece. Josh, after all of that, what do you think about BlizzCon?
I'm still kind of absorbing the fact that there's an airport named for John Wayne. That kind of blows me away a little bit.
Yep, John Wayne Airport.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was my takeaway from that whole thing. There was a lot of info, and then John Wayne Airport and everything else just went right out of my head.
It's
Fair.
it's one of the top rated airports in the country, and LAX is one of the lowest rated airports in the country.
Yeah, I'd believe that. I mean, I've never been anywhere near LA, but from what I've heard. But that sounds like an amazing time. And I'm going to have to see, there's so many things that I want to do, but I'll have to add that to my list. It's also on my list to go to like a Star Trek convention down in Vegas. So I wish they were closer together, but they're not.
We still have to decide if we're going to go to TwitchCon 2 weeks prior that's in Vegas this year. First world problems.
Even 2 weeks is a big stretch.
They're 2 weeks apart. Just like a lot of money spent 2 weeks apart.
Yeah.
But all the classic creators are getting a huge mansion for it, and I'm like,
I think we have enough that we could fly free, which might make it possible.
Yeah. It just depends on how many people they get to stay in the mansion and how far the price comes down, but that's something they're looking into now that BlizzCon's been announced. They could find out for sure who all still wants to go to TwitchCon or can't swing it and stuff. So that'll be a fun thing to see. I'll be tired as hell though that month if we do both. Whew. All right. Well, now that goes back, let's move on to developer notes for Wrath of the Lich King PTR 3.4.2. So I wanted to pull out a few different things here. First off, looks like hold on. Oh, did anybody do the test for Isle of Conquest?
I did.
You did? Did you play on Horde?
I did. Yes. And I saw you.
I was
at
killed
work.
you. Oh.
No.
I killed Ale. I was like, I killed this mage named Ale, and I was like, yes, I killed Ale. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's Ale, because he was Horde. His mage used to be human, but he faction swapped. I messaged him, and it was him that I killed. And I was like, yes.
No, I was at work, and I was like, man, like, because I think it went live at 5:00, and it ended up being like 5:20 until they figured something out because the queue wasn't working.
Yep.
But yeah, I was at work on my laptop because I got off work at 6, so I had like 40 minutes, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to hop on there, and I'm using like the hotspot on my phone, and it's like a terrible connection, and like I saw you went live, so I was like trying to like stream snipe you on my phone while I'm on my laptop. I'm like, where is he at? And I finally found you at one point, but like I was too far behind, and you were on your mount, and I was like, I know that mount, your little motorcycle. I was like trying to get up to you, but I was in stealth, and yeah, so
yeah,
I definitely saw you.
It was pretty cool. Jordy was there, and everybody was freaking out about Jordy. They're like, oh my god, it's Jordy, and Jordy's like kind of leading where we go. Like, I don't know if he knew what he was doing either, but he's like, let's go here, and everybody's like, okay. And then I said something to Jordy, like something like, I'm your biggest fan or something like that. And then like one or two people were like, Bob, it's Bob, love the podcast. I was like, yeah, thanks, man.
No, it was cool. And the Horde side had a little bit of a problem with population. The devs were like / yelling like, we need some more Horde people to queue up, because after the first one, it took a little bit for the second game to get started, because like Horde didn't want to queue back up because we just got demolished. And then even the second game, we got demolished again. But yeah, like there wasn't that many Horde players trying to hop on there.
Dude, I had kind of been petering out, during TOC and stuff, and definitely wasn't doing PvP back in the day, like at this point in Wrath, like, and like I never played this BG. Like I thought it was the one that's already in, since I haven't PvP'd in Wrath much at all. I hadn't even done that other one. And that other one was Strand. The one that like I was thinking that it was, and then we got into this one. I was like, oh my god, this is the one. And it's weird too, because I think they did changes to it over time. Because because like I do remember playing it a few different times, like, and we were able to attack the gates, like just us, without using any of the tools, like any of the vehicles. Like I remember specifically killing spreeing the door, like, but this would have been when it first released, like early in TOC. So I bet you they changed that, because I wasn't able to do that this time around. But it threw me off at first because I was Alliance instead of Horde, and it looks very different. Like the gates and everything, I was like, no, this isn't what I was thinking of. But it turned out it was the one I was thinking of. But I was so confused during it. But yeah, I had a good old time. Like, got to talk to Aramis. He's one of the guys that works for Blizzard, that works with content creators, and I've worked with him in the past a bunch when I was with Overwatch. He's a really cool guy. I got to talk to him because he was doing the /yell, and I just was like, "Hey, what's up?" And he opens up a GM chat, and I was like, "Oh, I feel special." And then we just had a little chat, and I was like, "Oh, I better hide the chat," in my little blurry area of my own stream. But yeah, it was a good time. I think like I might actually like to play it if I know what's going on. I got shot out of a cannon once over the wall into your base. That's when I killed Ale. Like, because Ale was in there like running, and I was stealth, and I was like cheap shot, killing spree, dead. Like I was in pure PvE gear, PvE combat spec. Like I shouldn't have been in PvP, but I was just killing people right and left because I had so much actual kill power.
Yeah, the only thing I saw was like some dead bodies were like floating around on the top of the ground. I don't know what they were, if they like attached themselves to something random, but that was like the only bug that I saw. It was just dead bodies floating around. I was like, what is that?
That must be why you guys lost two. Yeah, you guys. Probably why you guys lost 2 games in a row. I'd guess. Yeah. Alliance rules, baby.
No.
I mean, we did that day.
I haven't done it on the PTR because I don't do anything on the PTR, but I do remember Isle of Conquest is one of the things I remember most probably from Wrath the first time around.
Huh.
Because I wasn't raiding much in that time period because of I had young kids at the time. So I did a lot more PvP than I did PvE during original Wrath, and I remember doing a ton of Isle of Conquest. And I was actually kind of disappointed when Wrath Classic launched. I confused Isle of Conquest and Wintergrasp, and I was thinking Wintergrasp was Isle of Conquest, and I was super disappointed when I did some Wintergrasp. I was like, this is not what I remember at all. But yeah, that was one of the highlights of Wrath doing that, because that's 40 versus 40, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the big battleground. I loved that one.
Well, and like, depending on the server you on, Wintergrasp, you might have never even paid attention to, because as far as I remember, at least initially, you couldn't queue for it. You had to just be in the zone when it started, and then it puts you in your starting spot. Like, so like,
I remember being able to queue, but that may have been one of my memories from during like towards the end of Wrath.
I mean, it could have been quick.
I do remember doing Wintergrasp. It's just I think I kind of conflated them into the same thing in my head.
Well, and it's just like something you do like at a certain point of time, and like, I don't know, like even Wintergrasp now, I'm always busy doing something. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it.
It's the set times that kills me on Wintergrasp. Like, I don't want to have to be online at like 3 and 6. Like Isle of Conquest, you can queue for it whenever, as long as there's people playing it. And so then I'm probably going to do a lot of that, a lot more than I do Wintergrasp, because I do almost no Wintergrasp.
Same. And I mean, every time it pops up, I'm like in the middle of something, and I'm like, I don't want to do this. And do you still have to queue in Dalaran for it, or at one of the, like, because that was annoying too.
Something I don't know, then yeah, because I remember having to actually be in Dalaran waiting for it to start. Like in Classic, like this time around, I remember having to go to Dalaran and queue, and it's not worth the trouble.
If I could
So
queue
what you
like
get out of it, like you don't get anything worth all that trouble out of it.
well, if you win and stuff, you do get quite a bit of honor. There's quite a bit of dailies and everything. Like there is like quite a bit to be had doing it. It's just like the set
So what are
times
we gonna
just
do with
kill
all that
me.
honor?
I mean, I'm capping out honor just to buy gems. So
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
capped for the epic gems. Yep.
yeah, and then mounts too on my one guy. But
So you got to get all the tokens. You got to get the what is it, Stonekeeper shards. You can bank those for honor as well,
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and the Winter Grasp tokens for that matter.
Yep, and what's it called? Items, heirloom items. There's all kinds of stuff you can buy.
I've got all the full sets of heirloom. I've had those for a while. I've got each of the 4 types.
I could
I
buy a
love all the
ton.
vaults.
I had looked at my characters a while. I've got over 300 Old War badges on 3 different characters. I'm just like, okay.
It's a shame there's no BOE items you can buy from that set.
Like that was at least nice to be able to like just turn that into like cash. I mean, you could buy. I mean, the ruined orbs are still going for like 100 and something a piece. Like
That's
you can
nothing.
buy those, but like
What are they, like 15 tokens each? Is that what they were?
19, 18 sounds more
18?
right.
Yeah, 18 sounds.
I'm
16
not
or
sure.
15. I'm the expert here. I'm going with 15.
You're the casual here.
But yeah, so yeah, there's that.
I'm the one that has to budget my conquest tokens more.
All right, so yeah, so yep, there was the test. What's the next thing I wanted to pull from here? Oh, so everybody's been a little up in arms, a little worried about the amount of trophies and emblem of triumphs you're going to get, which is the next emblem tier for Trial of the Grand Crusader and Trial of the Crusader. Just to let everybody know, Trial of the Crusader is the normal version. Trial of the Grand Crusader is the heroic version. So if you're confused and trying to tell somebody they're wrong and it's one or the other, it's both. Heads up. Unless they're saying Trial of the Crusader, but specifically talking about heroic, then they are wrong. But tit for tat.
So what is the 5-man called?
I don't know what the 5-man's called. What did
I have to
the
log in
5-man's called Trial, or it's called, oh my gosh, I don't know. Yeah,
I'm bringing the hard-hitting questions.
Yeah, I don't know.
Trial of the Champion.
Trial of the
That makes
Champion.
sense.
Oh, that sounds right now that you say it.
Okay, so basically everybody was up in arms because they made a change. Initially, you were able to do heroic and normal on 25-man, heroic and normal on 10-man. So 4 different raids every week, and each of them giving you the new emblem of triumph for each boss you kill. So what they have done is they have decided to like try and keep us at the same emblem collection. Like, so they're basically going to give us 2 emblems of triumph and 2 additional trophy of the Crusades from each boss in 25-man, and then the number of emblems of triumphs obtained from each boss in 10-man raids will be increased by 1. So this solves the problem of emblem gear. So, or I don't even know if it was really a problem before, but it would be a problem in the sense that you would expect everybody to run all 4. They definitely couldn't get as many emblems as they could back in the past, but I don't know how many casual people were running all 4. It was the crazy people like us that were running all 4. So, but either
Can you
way,
not run all 4 now?
no, remember we've talked about this many times, Belle.
Mm.
You've been on the I don't want to run 4 of them a week train
Right.
for a while.
But that wasn't the change. You can still run all 4?
No, you still can only run the 2 that they said way back when with the change.
Oh,
But now
Oh,
each
give you more
boss
stuff for
is
it.
giving you double what it did before. emblems and trophies. And trophies are used along with emblems to buy certain pieces of gear. So
aren't people going to be maxed out on those a couple weeks in anyways?
It seems like a big change to me because every boss was dropping 3. So they're going to drop 5 per boss. So what's that? 5 times 5? 25 from heroic?
yeah, but isn't the stuff like 80 to 100?
Well, then you've got 5 from each daily. So that's 35 a week from the daily heroic plus. And then you've got Onyxia and you've got VOA bosses. I think it's going to be a lot of emblems, yeah. Like now that they've made this change. I didn't think it was going to be that bad the way it was. If each boss dropped 3.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I feel like it'll get people geared up quicker, but then they'll, like, I have so many emblems right now. I don't have anything to do with them.
Yeah. Wasn't one of the concerns with TOC that people are going to power through it and the content's going to be done too fast? Like, doesn't giving more emblems from the boss kills make that problem worse?
Well, I think they're trying to help the naysayers out there that wanted to be able to run all 4 instances like they could in original Wrath. So they're trying to say, like, okay, here, you can't run all 4 instances, but you can get this at least close to the amount of emblems and trophies that you would have gotten if you ran all 4. So that's fine. I think, honestly, all this will do is keep people in Old War longer, right? It'll keep people running Old War and doing TOC.
That was the goal the whole time with the Alduar item level changes and stuff too, wasn't it? So
yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Which is why I think it should come out sooner rather than later, right? And then it should still be a short phase.
Let me clarify this though. Are you talking they were dropping 3 trophies of the Crusade or 3 emblems of triumph?
3 emblems per boss. And then I just asked my raid lead how many they dropped today, and 25 man, he said they were dropping 5 per boss.
Okay.
So you'll get 25 from 25 man, 20 from 10 man, 9 from Onyxia if you do 10 man 25, 9 from the VOA boss, and then 35 a week.
Why 9 from the VOA boss?
Because you can do 10 and 25 man.
Oh.
So the 10 should drop
6.
4. The 10 should drop 4, and the 25 should drop 5.
But they said these changes are just being made in Trial of the Crusader. They probably won't increase.
Because it said 25 player raids.
It says adjustments have been made to the acquisition rate of both emblems of Triumph and Trophy of the Crusade in Trial of Crusader and Trial of the Great Crusader.
Yeah. I think
right. They're only making these changes in the TOC raids. I think emblem drops will stay the same in everything else.
So there'll be 3 from those.
But what did the trophies get you?
The trophies you use in addition to emblems to buy different pieces of gear.
They get you like the 2, 4, 5 eye level tier gear. Like the medium version of your tier.
Loot gets a little more annoying to math through this time around. It reminds me of Classic and Classic Vanilla Nax, but definitely not as annoying as Nax. Nax was unbelievably annoying with like scraps and all the other bullshit you had to do to get your freaking tier 3 or whatever. Okay, but yeah, it's like I remember when this first came out in Wrath, and I was like, okay, why is this so confusing? And why is there 75 different things I could buy? It's actually the reason I haven't PvP'd in Wrath is because I'm still annoyed with all the different types of PvP gear and all the different levels you can get locked out at from raiding. And I'm just like, I don't care to do it. It's just like
too much.
Yeah. In PvP, whenever they lock you out of gear, like because of skill rating, I'm just like, all right, well, rich are just going to get richer, and they're already better than me, so they're going to be able to just destroy me with better gear. So, sorry, I don't care. And I know a lot of people say, well, the gear wouldn't make you better. No, it wouldn't, probably. But I would still know that I'm still on the same playing field as them, and that's the problem. Like, it's the same problem with mythic rating in retail. Like, so many people are going to think in their head that they could do that with that gear, and they can't. But they're never going to know that because they have no access to that gear. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they have some access to it, but like, they're never going to be as geared as those guys, so it's never going to be in your face. That's why I loved vanilla. Because everybody had access to all of that stuff. And then you could really see, oh shit, this guy's really good. Or gal.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So, okay, well, we're going to get more. I honestly don't know what it means. Like, I don't know how much we're going to need. I know that it's really weird because I mean, if you've been doing all the stuff, like, you're not going to have a whole lot of upgrades for like B and Go type of deal. Like, they're going to be slight upgrades, but for someone like Josh and Al,
they're all upgrades for me.
Yeah, Sam, like, these are going to be huge catch-up mechanics for, you know, a casual. So, like, what do you feel about it?
Me?
Yeah.
About which part? About the extra tokens?
Yeah. Do you think it's a good thing?
You know what? I actually don't, because in every phase so far, like, I only raid casually. I still haven't cleared all of Alduar, but I don't know if the cost of the gear you get from it is similar or not, but I know at the end of every phase, I have so many extra tokens left over, and like, I've bought everything I can buy with the badges by the end of a few weeks, even just kind of raiding. So I don't see why they're adding extra badges, and everyone's just going to have their gear that much sooner, and they're just going to be bored of TOC that much earlier. Like, why are you trying to speed up this phase that everyone's already complaining that isn't going to last very long?
I think they're doing damage control because so many of the hardcore people are like, we want all four.
Is it the badges they wanted from all four, though, or is it extra shots at loot? Like, is the non-heroic mode loot even worth getting?
Well, I would blame Scotty J for the badge thing, because he brought it up, like, the whole, like, well, are we going to have enough badges? But, like, I don't think Scotty's a good, like, you know, Scotty's awesome. I love him, but I don't think he's a good indicator of what you should have for the general population, because Scotty's going to do everything immediately and then be ready for the next stage in 2 weeks, you know. That's just like how he does. Like, he's done it so many times, you know, but like the majority of people want to enjoy it.
Yeah, what is he going to do with all these extra badges? Does he just want to be done week 2, or
yeah, I think he just wants to have the best gear week 2.
Like, does he want a second set of gear to have a separate enchant on? Like what are you doing? What are you doing with all these badges when the phase is going to be out for months?
I mean, a lot of the creators, I mean, Sarth ended TBC, I think, on one of his characters with like 480 badges, when he could have like traded them all in for gems and got the cash. But like, at some point you get like, I'm blowing up in cash now because I've been doing GDKPs, and I'm like slacking on like making my real money. Like, normally I would have been only saving a certain amount of badges, and I'd be using everything to capitalize on the prices of gems and stuff like at this time. And like, but I'm just getting lazy with making actual gold in the game because I'm making so much in GDKPs and stuff. Like, it's a really
is that
weird
not
thing.
Actual gold?
Yeah, but I mean, actual
what is the
gameplay, like, ways of making it, not life hack ways of making gold. Like, I would say GDKPs, getting in a good one is like a life hack. Like, you're figuring out a way to get into a good money-making GDKP, which usually they're designed to take your money, right? So Like they've took
No,
some
they're
of my money,
designed
but
they're
I'm
designed
making
to take
money.
my money. They're designed to take my money because I have no gear. They're designed to take my money and give it to you because you have the gear already.
If
I'm
I
pretty
would,
sure that's
yeah,
what they're
but
designed for.
the character I'm running the GDKPs with, like most of the gear I've gotten is all from purchasing. Like it's a GDKP rogue. Like I should have even named him that. Blazing GDKP. But yeah, like he's up to 49 or 39.50 now. No, 49. 40.
Oh, I was
yeah,
going to say I'm higher than that. What are you talking about?
Awesome, Bob.
Yeah, he's up
Killing
to
it.
he's up to 49.50 now. He's doing okay.
Bragging about almost being good for knack gear.
But yeah, I mean, I think like it's probably a good thing. What was the?
It's gonna make me do the new heroics less because I'm gonna get enough emblems faster to where I don't have to keep doing the daily anymore.
Yeah, see there, that's my problem because I need those new heroics for the catch-up gear because I just rolled on a new server and no one's going to want to do them because they're getting so many trophies or emblems or whatever from
because
raids.
Why get the 239 and 245 pieces from 10-man Ulduar when you could get like the 245 gear instead, right? I mean, people will still be going for things like the rune stone and different like trinkets and things of that nature, but it might really shut down people even worrying about doing those heroics. Although, if I'm being honest, like the heroics, it's like 19 for the rune stone. That's 19 heroic dungeons. Like,
no, thank you.
Yeah, that seems like a lot to do. Like, and then if you want one of the weapons, it's 40. Like, I feel like there should be like who came up with the idea? Maybe it was Scotty J. Somebody put out a video that came up with an idea of like, why don't you put a time gate thing into all of the heroic plus new dungeons, and then if you beat it in a really good time, everybody gets 3 side reel. I know it's side aerial, but I like calling it side reel because I just do. I know Josh does too because he said it after I said it in our episodes. But like do that. So like there's a challenge to the dungeon. And then you get a reward for it. Then if you do an okay time, you get 2. And then if you're just absolute, bad or absolute slow, I don't know if you're bad, but then give you 1. Like then it actually makes a challenge to it, makes it fun, makes it engaging rather. Although I have heard a lot of the changes are actually really fun. Like they actually make the dungeons maybe a little bit easier, but.
See, I'd want to go the other way with that. Rather than have people speeding through the dungeons, I'd rather them add one of the essence to each boss in the heroic beta. So that way you don't have as many groups skipping.
There you
because
go.
When I'm going to heroic, especially in these new heroic beta and alpha, I want to actually fight the bosses. Like I've gone to,
I don't have the achievement because everybody wants to skip.
That's what I was going to say. Like I've done a number of the alphas and I'm thinking, okay, great. This is a new list of achievements I can get. Good luck finding a group that's not going to skip half the bosses in Old Kingdom. Like it's impossible because everyone just wants to get it done as fast as possible. If you put a badge on every boss or an essence on every boss, like, okay, like add an extra 25% to the cost of the items and put a badge on every boss. And it's not the insane time sink, and you've got people actually enjoying the dungeons and doing the full run.
In my world where you had to completing would mean all the bosses except for any optional bosses that were already optional bosses. Like it would mean you complete the dungeon with all bosses done
in your theoretical time limit
like
to get the extra
like time, and it'd be something fun for creators and casuals to do alike, like I think that would be fun. Like,
but now some people would never hit that threshold.
That is true.
Some people are never going to get that speed run done and get that second badge.
That is.
I mean, they can try. It might be fun to try, but some people aren't going to do it.
Well, they get their participation emblem, and they still get the Nax loot that drops out of there still. Yeah, so they'll be fine.
Yep. I'm always for people who are better getting the gear faster. I'm just never for people that are better getting the gear and people that aren't never getting it. Like, I want a route for everybody to get all the top rated gear. And if you're not as good, getting it slower, I'm okay with. Like that's
I think
something
they're
I'm
doing
okay
that.
with.
Like, I think they're doing that with the heroic plus and the heroic plus or whatever you want to call it. I mean, everybody's got access except for the 25-man hard mode. Everyone's got access to all that loot. They're just a phase behind.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, is fine. I don't know what they're going to do with the final phase, if they're ever going to, like, okay, the Ice Crown's been out for X number of months. We're going to open up another heroic, whatever letter they're on at that point. But
well, I mean, there's supposedly a whole nother phase after Ice Crown, which is just weird. Ruby Sanctum.
Like the Ruby Sanctum. Yeah. Right. Isn't that just one boss? Isn't that like a super tiny phase?
I had quit by then, so I don't even know. I had quit and I came back for Cataclysm, so I don't even know. I think I did do it when we were at level 85 in Cata, but like, yeah, I don't remember it at all. I did. I got the mount in ICC when we were level 85 too. But I'm curious if they're gonna how they're gonna do the buff for ICC. Like, that'll be a whole nother conversation when we're coming up. Me and Go talked about it with Scotty and maybe Ruggs. I can't remember who we talked about it with, but a while back. Like, that's gonna be a weird thing how they bring that in. All in all, though, I think guys, I don't want to everybody says that I'm a fanboy and don't ever give Blizzard shit or anything like that. Like, this is going to be a boring phase, guys. Like, just strap in, buckle in. Like, this is going to be like, unless you're catching up, this is going to be pretty boring. If you're bissed out now, like, you're going to be looking at very minor upgrades. You're going to be looking at
more Ulduar runs.
Well, yeah, you're gonna be looking at getting. Then I don't even know if they're gonna nerf Ulduar. They still haven't even said if they are. Like, nerf the hard modes.
Nerf it, please.
I feel like I was in the camp of never nerf them, but I'm in the camp now of just nerf them. Like, the hard modes are so much harder than it feels stupid when you work on a hard mode for like 4 attempts and then you're like, fine, we'll do normal, and then normal's literally I'm tanking and I go AFK on fucking XT, literally. Like, literally I could get through the first heart phase and then I could auto attack and AFK, walk, fill up my drink, do whatever I want. Like, it's just dumb how different they are in like scope. And yeah, I think it'd be really fun for a lot of like casual pug groups to just be able to blast through the hard mode stuff now, and like, sue me if you're mad, but we had the gear first. Like, we got our time. Let other people just see this stuff. Like, I really don't want to go through and be running these again and be trying to explain the fights to anybody who is in catch-up mode, and it's just going to upset them in catch-up mode and they'll quit faster, yada yada yada. Like, yeah, I just like, I don't know. I've warned everybody about TOC way before Wrath ever came out. I told you it was like a bad tier. It's going to be boring. You're going to be done raiding with 10 and 25 man in under an hour by week 4. You are even like fairly casual guilds are, I think.
No way. No way.
I think I mean, we could have a bet, but I think like we're still looking at 50% of guilds haven't killed Yogg 1 plus Algalon or Yogg 0 plus Algalon. I think it's gonna be a more like a Nax type of clearing. But I mean, I could be wrong. I haven't fought a noob, and the change to where you can't have somebody easily cheese with the block set might be a big deal. So I don't know, but I think it's going to be pretty easy, pretty fast for the majority of people.
I think it'll be like an in-between Old War and Nax. But Josh, what's your 25-man raid experience? Like, how far have you gotten? Have you gotten all the hard modes down? Like, where are you at?
25-man. I've attempted most of the hard modes.
Hard man modes.
10 hard man, the 25 hard man mode. I can never say it properly. I was in a guild that was raiding, and we were not a great guild, and we completely bombed and fell apart. And I'm not even in a guild right now. I'm in a guild that I made that has a half dozen people in it that just kind of hang out. But
you guys came over. Yeah, you guys are coming over from Ass Candy.
Yes,
I mean Ass Candy.
Just it is what it is. It's Ass Candy. Yeah.
And you're in Benediction now. You might have been in a better spot had you started on a Benediction or a Faralina.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because it was we had such a limited choice of what we could do, because it was such an underpopulated server. There's a handful of guilds kind of in my range of what I can commit to for raids. And I kind of took what I could get, and it didn't get me much. Like we did fine with Nax. Like we cleared Nax no problem, but I mean, really, who can't? And we didn't have a whole lot of trouble with the normal mode Alduar, but hard modes, it was too much coordination for the majority of the guild I was in, because on any given fight, you've got 25 people, or in our case, we'd have 19 to 21 people. You've got at least eight of those people either don't know the fight, or are not paying attention, or have just decided that they're not going to try and figure it out. So,
or you have a holy paladin that doesn't know the difference between sack and bubble sack, or there's so many things that, like, we use sack in different ways, but like oftentimes you need to bubble with it, or it's just going to kill you and then you're dead, and a lot of people just don't know these types of things. There's not a whole lot of YouTube stuff that
there's
spells
plenty.
it out. Well, I mean, easy YouTube stuff. Like, who's a holy pally that tells you how to do everything in Wrath? Like, give me one. Like, I know a prot pally, subtle FW, or tell me a prot warrior that tells you how to do everything on YouTube. Subtle's starting to do it now, but Starter Wrath, like, I was on my own, like, reading documents, like, and not knowing if they were accurate, and like,
the information's out there though. Like, it's not that hard to find. And if you have a decent raid lead that knows the different class roles, they can, like, it's just a matter of saying, hey, hit your bubble when you divine sack. So it's not that difficult.
There's actual macro for it. Like, our raid lead actually we had a raid where we were struggling in the 10 bands, and he came in on a Saturday, led it for us. And it was something I couldn't see because I just don't know enough, but he saw it immediately. It was like, hey, paladin, do these macros for this. This is for this. This is for this. And boom, problem was fixed. We beat like the XT hard mode that we had been failing on constantly, right? Like,
yeah.
But like, that's finding a raid lead like that. No, this was a 10-man, like, earlier on. Yeah. But like, finding a raid lead that knows that's willing to deal with people that don't know every bit of the ins and outs of their class, that's few and far between.
Yeah, but like the issue that I run into is, it's not that the information's not there, it's that people aren't willing to put the effort in. Because I've raided, when you start raiding with more casual groups, you've got people that want to come to their raid and they want to kind of coast through. And I'm not trying to bash casual players, because I am a very casual player, but I'm the kind of casual player that once I get into a raid, I would like to at least attempt to do things properly. But there are people that they just don't. They want to come to raid, and they want it to be simple, and they want to just be able to kind of hit their buttons and get their loot and go on with it. And hard modes in Ulduar does not allow for that. It doesn't allow for having 4 or 5 people in your raid that just kind of want to easy mode it and not put the extra effort in. So as soon as you're in that kind of casual atmosphere, those hard modes don't go down very easily at all.
It's actually a deeper conversation, really, when you start to think about it, like where, Wrath of the Lich King, is where the seeds began for, like, everybody says Cataclysm killed World of Warcraft, but maybe it was just raid mechanics and personal responsibility that killed, like, because, like, you always had to have a set little group of people that knew what they were doing to accomplish your goals. But Ulduar is a thing where you can't be having people that just don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, you need people that at least have a grasp of, at the very minimum, their job, if not understanding others' jobs, to be able to, like, pick up slack. Like, I mean, like, your raid lead could definitely tell you, but, like, say you're on Freya or General Vezix, you're a rogue, and your Mortal Strike, like, you have no arms warrior, your hunter goes down, your Mortal Strike is gone. You need to know that you need to put on wound poison, right? Like, to make it go easier. Yes, you don't have to do it if you're a pumper group, like, you don't worry about that at all. But if you're a regular group, you need to know that, and knowing that type of stuff saves a raid. And it's so many little things that people just don't take the time to learn about their class. And this is where World of Warcraft starts to get really complicated as opposed to everything prior. So it's an interesting conversation, because is there really a casual at this point that's clearing everything?
I mean, the talk hard modes are going to be that same way. Like a noob, you need to have a Mortal Strike. So same instance, hunter goes down, your rogue needs to switch to wound poison, whatever it is. But even all the other bosses have something where if one person messes up, it could kind of snowball into a wipe. Like the first boss, the beasts, if like phase 3, whatever that last big ice dude's called, if he charges at the wall and hits somebody, he's going to enrage, and it's going to be a wipe. So if somebody doesn't get out of the way for that charge, your group's just going to take an L on the first encounter and not
guys,
get that 50-50.
If you get hit by that, I'm just saying, get better.
See,
extremely easy to dodge. Do not get hit by it.
I'm used to raiding with people who can't be bothered to step out of the way of whatever that thing Vezix shoots up in the air is. I mean, I've never been ranged on it, but yeah, Shadow Crash, that's what it's called. I'm used to raiding with people who just can't be bothered to watch for it. So,
like, I'll just run back in. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. I'll just, you know what? I'll die in the first few seconds. You guys finish the boss, then res me, and it's all good, right? Like,
yeah. Talk has those mechanics still. Like, people are gonna progress through Talk, especially if they haven't been on PTR at all. It's gonna take them a long time to get clean through those boss fights. It's not just a pushover raid. Like, everybody's downplaying it. Oh, you're going to be bored. It's going to be a sub 1 hour raid. A lot of people are going to be spending their whole 2.5, 3, 4 hour raid windows for the first month and a half, 2 months in there. If they're doing the hard modes.
Looking at chat here, Bob's going to get hit week 1. I'm calling it now.
Oh, man.
Dude, I didn't die to Frogger once in original vanilla and new vanilla, and now in, although I really feel like Wrath Frogger is so much easier, and I don't know why, but either way, I didn't get hit until I said I didn't get hit, and then my guildie made sure that he got put in my group so that he could snowball me. You have to be in the same group. He snowballed me as I was running, and I actually died to it. I was like, that was actually pretty fucking funny. Like,
So I was warned. That was one of the things because I had never done Nax before Wrath Classic. Like I had done a couple pug raids like way back that I barely remember. But one of the things I kept seeing is don't die to Frogger, be careful of Frogger, don't die to Frogger. And then I got to that point in the raid and I was like, wait, this is the thing that's killing people? All you have to do is not hit these super slow oozes. Like, how is this a problem? Like what? And then as I'm going and kind of thinking out loud, how are people dying to this? Someone behind me dies. And it's like, what? Like, are you not looking at your screen? Like, did you just hit auto run and walk away? Like, I don't understand how that was even a problem.
There's another boss. I don't understand how people can screw it up either. Is you have a polarity and it's either positive or negative.
Only the worst players mess that up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If you mess that up, then like it's an insta G kick, your loot banned, like everything.
And you never hear the end of it either.
Bob's looking at his phone.
Sorry, they're asking if I could tank a Ulduar 10 normal tonight, and I was like, I can if you have room for a Boomy and a Ret Paladin.
What lucky
you for not saying it
that is.
Yeah, well, because I know Mel won't come, but yeah. Well, on that note, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot to talk to there. We could probably talk about the whole casuals versus whatever, and like this is finally the point. Everybody said like, oh, we're gonna get to a point, and even SSC TK was a point, but then the next two raids were significantly easier. Yeah, Sunwell was harder, but I think SSC TK, as far as the final two bosses, were definitely harder. Like, but
well, here's the thing: is that I think casual raids are always harder than either very hardcore raids or semi-hardcore raids, right? And I think because there's inevitably a handful of people in the casual raids that are there with their friends or something and want to do better, and they don't, and they can't because everybody else is not pulling their weight. And so you see a lot more discourse, I think, in those guild environments than you do even in the really hardcore ones, right? Because in the really hardcore guilds and raids, every single person is expected to know what they're doing, and they do, right? Or they're not in those raids. And in the semi-hardcore ones, there's enough people that know what they're doing that they can split up and like coach some others that want to know what they're doing, but maybe just don't, right?
well,
In the casual raids, it just seems very challenging to keep everybody on the same level of being okay with not doing certain things, right? So
it's crazy. Like I've lived on all sides of the spectrum now, and it's nuts. Oh, Commander, we don't usually shout this out, but Commander Dingus, thank you so much for the 10 gifted subs. Oh my gosh. Ooh, okay. I've been on all sides, and it's so weird now because I'm running with Hummel. I'm doing his GD KPs, and it's like alts of like tons of people in really good guilds and stuff. And like, we're not even really giving any raid direction at all. I mean, I know it'll be interesting to see what those are like going into TOC when stuff's new and people don't know what they're doing, right? But I mean, we'll be doing Memoron hard mode firefighter, and they just mark a person, and no one really says much at all. And we're just all moving with the group. We're all just doing what we normally do. Like, and it's interesting because like, we're just like, there's really no direction, and we're just able to like, just kill all the hard modes, and it's with alts and everything else. And it's so weird because I don't know what, like, I guess I just don't know what's going wrong in different raids. Like, I'm not that good at like actually figuring it out. So yeah,
I mean, you've got to think you're running with alts. Yes, but you're running with ults of players that probably have really competent mains, right? Like, I think that's the difference. Is casual raids, you just have people who don't have enough time or aren't willing or don't care to put in the effort to learn different aspects of it, right? And like I was there with my Pally tank, right? Like I knew that I could be better at Pally tank, but I don't have the time to be that much better at Pally tank, right?
Yeah.
And that's what drove me crazy, right? Is like I was like, I don't want to do this because I don't have the time to do it good. So I don't even want to play it. And that sucks, right? But that's how my mindset works. Now there's other people that would say like, well, I'm doing everything I can and I'm enjoying myself, right? And that's okay. But getting 25 people that feel that exact same way is very hard. And even if they all feel that exact same way about their character, they want other people to play better still too. Right?
Yeah, the biggest killer of casual raid guilds is you've got your casual raid of 25 people. You're always going to have at least 2 or 3, maybe more members of that casual raid who want to do better.
Mm-hmm.
And inevitably those people who want to do better, they reach where they feel the cap is with that guild and then they leave.
Yep.
And then that casual raid group has lost its 2 or 3 best players, and then you're adding 2 or 3 from the bottom, and which I do not mean that as an insult. You're adding 2 or 3 from the bottom that you've picked up from someone who's just into the game or ungilded or whatever. And now the top 2 or 3 people in your raid group are that much worse than before. And those top 2 or 3 players, they start to try a little harder because they're the better ones in the raid, and they decide, okay, I want to push this to the next level. That group's not willing to do it, and they end up moving on as well. So you've got so much attrition because you're inevitably going to have someone in that raid that wants to push to the next level, and then 18 to 20 other people who don't. So that's what kills the casual raids more than anything else.
I've been on both sides. I've been the guy that's like started off like, okay, this is a good guild for me. It fits me. And then like a month, 2 months down the line, I'm like, people are making these mistakes. How are they still making these mistakes? I need to find like a better guild. And then I would move on to like another guild. And in my current guild, I haven't left or anything, but I've had like a couple of the higher players in the raid, I've seen them leave, and then I've felt that effect of those top 2, top 3 people leaving and then being replaced from like looking on Discord, like the server Discord, and it's like, oh yeah, now we're back like a couple steps. We've got to progress. We've got to teach these new raiders like these same mechanics over again, and it's now taking the raid an extra 30 minutes to clear Old War. And yeah, like I've been on both sides, and I don't think I'm going to leave the guild that I'm in.
I mean, that's why I won't leave the guild that I'm in. Like they've given me everything. Like they'd have to do something really egregious to me or kick me out. Like I am your soldier. Like I am here for you. If I'm going to raid something else, I'm going to do it on a different character. Like, and that's the way I feel about it, because I hate it when people do that to other, like when people get better and they do that, like they leave and go to a better guild. And it's just like,
would you feel the same way if your guild still hadn't cleared 2 of the hard modes and Algalon?
I mean, there is a point to which you would have to let it go. But the thing is with like, basically when you're looking for a guild, you're looking for a good raid leader. One, that's very important, but equally important behind the scenes, you're looking for a good officer corps that really is committed to making things go well, because you have all kinds of things like nepotism. You have, like people thinking that other people get gear over them. Like you have all kinds of different things that these officers deal with behind the scenes, and it's horrible. I will still, to this day, I say, like, I don't care. Like, I will never be an officer again. Like, because it's absurd what you have to deal with grown people pissed off about gear. And I'm not knocking you guys. I've been a grown person pissed off about gear too. Like, it's just
right. I deal with that at my work every day, but I get paid to deal with that, right? You know, like not getting paid to deal with that. I'm like, oh, okay.
And these officers do that, like, and if you have a good core of that and you've had success in the past, like, yeah, if I was in your guild, Josh, I would have left much quicker. But in a guild that has a good raid lead and a good officer core, like, you can feel pretty safe there because you can lose really good players and still be fine. Maybe not as good. Maybe you have to get back quicker. But with those two components, I think you are set for success. And that's basically like, I will follow Varg as long as Harskar's leading raids and Yip's leading the guild and our great officers, Stoof, Jasmine, God, fuck. Oh no.
So great you can't remember the names.
Yes, all of the great officers, like, as long as they keep doing what they're doing, then like I am cool, you know. And like, and one of the things is, like, you know, I've had officers and stuff in the past that give me things to, like, when I was younger, I was a lot better than I am now. But I was really good, and like people, like, they would just give me stuff, and if I honestly wouldn't respect that either. Like, what I love about my guild is, even though I do the podcast and everything, they don't give a shit. They don't care one little bit. Like, and I love that. Like, there is no like special treatment for me. Honestly, it might even be the opposite. I'm looked at even more. You know, and like, that's cool. Like, I'm good with that. Like, so if you feel like the core is good, I think you're good. But yeah, if you're in a guild, like, I followed you on your pod, Josh, and if I was in a guild like yours, I would have definitely been looking for something else.
But you also have to think about who you're playing with too, though, right? Like, if are you playing with people that you want to still play with, and what is their mindset too, and how do you find a happy medium? Right? Because I think you want to raid with certain people, but if their version of raiding is so different than your version, can you find a happy medium and still be happy and still raid together? Or do you go to a place where, like, I also hate thinking of going to a guild where it's just like drill sergeant, like, no fun, like, you just do your thing and you clear all the content, and like, great. That's not what I'm here for, right? Like, I mean, I am to an extent, right? Like, I want to get through it quickly and I want to do the content, but you also have to have some sort of a connection and social bond with these people.
It does help a lot if you like the people you're raiding with.
Yeah.
I don't know. As for me, as long as you respect the people you're raiding with, I think that's enough. Like, I've definitely not liked a lot of the people I've raided with in the past. You have to like
everybody, but you have to like a handful of people.
If I respect them, I'm cool. Like, honestly, for me, I genuinely don't dislike people very often. I should probably say the people that don't like me, as long as I respect them, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think I would have left this guild if we took like 2 extra weeks to down Algalon. I was teetering on that edge. I was like, guys, like, come on. And then like we downed Algalon. I was like, okay, sweet. And then we didn't down it the next week. And I was like, oh, I was back on that ledge. I was like, hey guys, come on. And then we downed him the 3rd week. And I was like, oh. But it could be the same thing in talk if it's taken us a while to get that 50 of 50 because like a couple of the raiders are messing up these mechanics a couple weeks down the line. It's like, dude, we've been in here, we went to PTR. Oh, you didn't show up to PTR? Oh, that makes sense. No.
Here's the thing though, is that I think it's also like we progressed a lot in Ulduar, but I never felt like it was one person's fault or we weren't moving closer to being able to accomplish it, right? Like there are those times where you're just banging your head against the wall, doing the same thing, doing it and doing it and doing it and not making any progress. And that's when you're going to leave, right? If you feel like if you did it 25 times, if you did it 25 times and each time you got a little bit closer to being successful, you'd be fine. If you did it 25 times and had the same success rate or worse those 25 times, you're never going to stay in that guild.
Well, and we can even...
That is...
Sorry, Josh, go.
That's the worst feeling when you're a guild that's progressed to a certain point, and then suddenly the next week you can't repeat that, and you keep sliding back farther and farther and farther. That's why I ended up quitting the guild I was in Classic. In AQ, we cleared it. We cleared the whole thing. We killed Cthulhu at the end, and then the next week we couldn't kill him. And it's like, well, what is going on? We're doing the same thing, but we've got people that aren't quite trying as hard because you don't have that pressure for the with the progression. You've done it, so everyone feels like they can relax. And then you take a step back, and suddenly the next week you can't kill Cthulhu. And then the week after you're doing a little bit worse, and then you're doing a little bit worse, and it's like, oh man, this is going the wrong direction. Yeah, I got to get out of here. So
it goes all over the place because then you'll even be in like a good guild that's like, you know, you've progressed everything, but now people are trying to really push the parse to the next level. So you're getting people that are waiting till the last second to go drop their void zone on XT, and they're accidentally dropping it in their raid, or, you know, or somebody sees, like, somebody puts a, like, you know, something on them that makes the void zone drop. Like, I mean, there's like, and then you're just like, dude, we've been killing this with ease forever, and we just had 2 people wipe us 2 times in a row to void zones. Like, as soon as you get it, just run out. But like the parse mentality is you wait as long as you can, then run out, drop it, to run back in. Like, so, like, you know, and like as a rogue, it's easy for me to say that because I can sprint out, pop cloak that pops the void zone, then I run back in, right? But like, say a Rhett Pally wanting to parse, he wants to wait till it's like 3 seconds from it dropping on the ground. So he waits and then he runs out and drops it, but he doesn't run out quick enough, or the weak aura didn't properly give him the time, and then it drops on the raid, and then everybody's screwed because of that one parse mentality. Like, so there's tons of stuff we can talk about. Well, we have to move on.
Maybe the raid should have moved over, though. I mean, to be fair.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is that I think
Josh,
parse mentality, I think
my Rhett was parsing. You guys move over.
Once we're in farm, like once we've got it down and we're in farm, I think the parse mentality is fine. And I think that is what keeps high level players still engaged in the same content over and over again, right? Like it gives them another goal to work towards every single week.
And I work towards it every single week, but I do the mechanics like I'm supposed to, and like the raid lead says. Like when they say split up on council, I split up, even though everything in my body says, no, keep hitting the boss. Like,
stay in the blue rune.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, like, yes, if you mess it up once and you wipe the raid, you don't get to continue to focus on your parse for that boss, right? Like you give up your right, like you tried it, you effed it up. Now try again next week and don't F it up, right?
No, they don't get to next week.
You messed up your right to parse. They have to skip the next
week. Yeah, you're on probation. No more parse spotting for you, okay? And like, but that's what I'm saying is that I do think that you have to still allow for some of these different competitive aspects of the game, and you can still work as a team to do those. And I think sometimes walking that line of like, can I wait 3 seconds or 2 seconds? And it's like, nope, you can only wait. You have to wait, 2.5 seconds. If anything after that, you're done. And feeling those things out, I do think is fun for people, right? Now it affects the 24 other people in the raid, so that's where it sucks. And if you're not doing it over and over and over again, it's not the end of the world. right? If you wipe the raid once, learn from your lesson, don't do it again. Okay.
But there's so many things that go into that. Like, are you in a guild that really wants to like prioritize speed or really wants to prioritize, parsing? Like,
if you're in a guild that wants to prioritize speed, then you're not. You shouldn't be parsing.
Like, for instance, like our guild isn't trying to speed run, but we prioritize speed over parsing. Like we'll pull cat lady as soon as she's able to pull, but like I have to change glyphs out and everything, like to like properly parse. Like I have to be, it's just like there's different, it all boils down to just get with who like does it, the way you want to do it, but like that's easier said than done, right? You just have to kind of like take the good with the bad, go with the flow, and like figure out if the pros outweigh the cons for what you're doing in your specific guild. But we do have to move on. This was a great conversation actually that came out of nowhere. Go wants to say one last thing. Go.
We added 40 more minutes onto our raid window this week, like our raid clear time this week. Like it's been one of those down weeks.
Oh, wow. 40 more.
Like we had like a 2-hour clear last week. And then this week it was like 2 hours, 40 minutes. And our raid lead jinxed us. I love him to death. But at the start of the raid, he was like, guys, we're not a speedrun guild, but we're going to try to move fast tonight. We're going to try to like do better than we did last week on our speed. We got sub 2 hours. Come on, let's do it again. And then, the rest was history.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. And it's probably because of dumb mistakes or different things or, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, we could talk so long on a podcast about this, but we do have to move on. The last piece of news, and I just want to give them a shout out, is, a hardcore guild actually defeated Cthulhu. Hardcore elite defeated Cthulhu on hard mode, like hardcore
hard mode AQ40.
Yeah, I'm trying to read. Did they lose anybody?
No, they
did
didn't.
not. No one died.
It was
no
clean.
one.
No deaths.
It's a little cringe at the moment with the hardcore stuff. Like I do love them, but I'm gonna Bobka called it out, last week on the pod. I'm gonna call it out. Like if you have everybody has flasks of petrification and can leave group to get ported out of the instance, like there's not a whole lot of risk here, but I'm pretty sure they didn't have to like do that, or I don't know if anybody popped their flask, but basically it's their oh shit button, and anybody who doesn't know at home, flask of petrification makes you invulnerable and you're just stuck in one spot. You can't move like until you click it off.
Now I did watch the little clip from when they killed the boss, and it looked on their raid frames like everyone was in zone.
Nice.
So I mean, it doesn't look like anyone dropped.
Yeah,
I think it was pretty clean.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I know that's something that a lot of people have been like, please don't add in the hardcore servers. Yeah, but I mean, either way, it's still a crazy good accomplishment. Like there's still like one life characters, and like this is the furthest we have gotten. Like, and they did lose people, I believe, throughout figuring out how to clear AQ. So
yeah,
pretty cool.
I was watching them do like the dry run in Twins room, and they were using like the middle of Twins room as like Cthulhu's body, and they had everybody like they did a pull timer. Everybody ran into their positions, and they're like, the raid lead's like, okay, this is going to be the gaze mechanic or whatever it is that he does, where the boss does like a full 360, and if you're in the beam, you die.
Was the raid lead Ampi or Calamity?
I don't know. It It was a guy, yeah. So it must have been Ompy.
Guessing it was Ompy then. Ompy was on the pod last week. Well, I don't know if he's still. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure he's. See,
I didn't think he was still. I don't know.
I don't know who.
I don't know. He did the road. Was it a really calm voice?
I guess I was at work. I'm always at work when I'm watching this stuff. Everything goes on.
I should have watched these VODs before, but either way, shout outs to them. Congrats. Unfortunately, we have really pressed our time tonight, so we got to move into.
Bobby, we need to have a talk about this World of Warcraft Classic. Do I look like I know what a WoW token is?
All right, this is where we get to know Josh. Josh, we've kind of went a little over, so I don't know how much time we have for this. There is a possible raid waiting for us right after this, if you want to do that. So you want to tell us what your background is in WoW? Just give us a little bit about how you started and how you played, and then we'll talk about mere casuals really quick before we get out of here.
So how quick?
I'm thinking 15 minutes.
Okay, I can do that.
All
So okay, so my WoW background, I looked at your questions here and I was thinking about them. And okay, I'm going to combine my WoW background, when did I start and how long did I play, all into one kind of long rambling answer, just to save time.
Perfect.
So for a little bit of context, when WoW first came out, I was very resentful of it, and I had no desire to play it whatsoever. Because
Original WoW?
I had original WoW, back in 2004.
Okay.
I wanted nothing to do with it because I played a game called EverQuest from 1999 to 2004. And it was a very big part of my life. And I made a lot of connections in that game. I was in some really good guilds. I even at one point traveled down to Ohio to do an in-person meetup with one of my guilds I was in. I made a lot of friends. I was very close with a lot of people. And then when WoW came out, the game started to decline significantly. And a lot of us players that wanted to continue in EverQuest were very resentful of WoW and them poaching our player base. So I clung on, with white knuckles and refused to give up on my game for a long time.
Yeah, I played EverQuest.
Which was a few months.
I was going to say, I thought you did.
Because I played it a lot.
I played the EverQuest beta and then went back to Ultima Online. Never played EverQuest again, but I hear it was a fun game.
I played it and raided and played it every day for 5 years, basically. So
yeah, the graphics just weren't up to par for me at that point yet.
The graphics were amazing for 1999, if you ask me.
If you were willing to, for 3D, they were definitely, but you still had to look past that. Basically Dark Age of Camelot was the first time I was able to okay, I can deal with these 3D graphics type of thing. But okay, sorry.
Yeah, it wasn't about the graphics for me. It was more of the social experience of the game.
And you never played Ultima Online, huh?
I didn't play Ultima, no. It was, when did Ultima come out?
Ultima came out 1996.
It was pre EverQuest, right?
I believe 1996, maybe mid to late year. Yeah.
I was still playing mostly like first person shooters and stuff at that point. So I wasn't into the whole
Wolfenstein
MMO
3D,
game.
Right?
Wolfenstein, Quake,
Quake
I feel
2.
like Unreal
Quake
was out
2.
before then. Quake
Unreal,
2,
yep.
I played Quake 1, I'm pretty sure too, but
I played Quake 1, but during that time it was Quake 2 was the huge thing.
Yeah, a lot of Team Fortress, Quake Team Fortress. I played a lot of that, but that's a digression. We don't need to get into that. So like 3 or 4 months after WoW came out, I finally gave up and decided to give it a try. And I kind of decided going in that I was going to like it. So I was one of those nitpicky players that was like, oh man, this game, it's too handholdy, and the quests are too easy, and the dungeons are too easy, and the graphics are too cartoony, and I complained about it nonstop while also playing it nonstop. So I basically ended up getting kind of hooked on it, and I think my first character was a dwarf warrior. And I stuck with that for like well into Molten Core. I ended up raiding Molten Core with that same dwarf warrior. I probably rolled some alts, but that was kind of my character that I played through Classic, and didn't end up going back to EverQuest until years later because I was sold on it. So it was
You're a believer.
Yeah, it made me a believer. Now, that said, I still play EverQuest to this day. So
yeah, he's a believer, but he couldn't leave her if he tried, her being EverQuest.
Yeah. So that was my kind of that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah,
tried to shut that one out.
We tried to just walk past it, and you just pointed it out.
I thought I could push. I thought I could push through it, and no, it got me.
But yeah,
I played. Yeah, I played a lot of Classic. I ended up playing a fair amount of TBC, and TBC is probably where I rated my most hardcore. Through Serpent Shine, Tempest Keep, Black Temple. Those are the first 3, right?
Gruul and Mag were the first 2,
Mag,
25.
Yeah. They were the single boss ones. I played basically up until Black Temple, and then I ended up having to take a break because of, family and kids and stuff, and didn't really play a whole lot after that. Like, I came back in Wrath and played casually, did a lot of PvP, didn't really raid, then quit. And then I came back in Cata. I played that for a while. I raided a little bit, and then ended up quitting again. And then I played a bit during I think actually during Cata is when I first got Sam to try the game as well. So we ended up playing a bit in Cata, and we didn't commit to it. We had too much going on with young kids and all that. So
yeah,
we had that, and I came back a bit during Pandera and played a bit, and then quit, and then played a bit during the next expansion and quit, and then didn't touch the game again until Classic. And I know when me and Al saw that Classic was coming out, we both kind of were like, okay, you know what? We gotta really play this game this time. Like, we gotta play this together and go through, the whole thing. So we ended up playing. You know what? Sam was playing with us too. Now that I think about it, she was playing Classic with us too. So we started like day one of Classic. We pre-reserved our names, and we actually day one of Classic, we brought all our computers into the same room, and we set up, and we had like a marathon playing session day one of Classic. And we were like, we're gonna play this all the way through, and we're gonna keep going. And then Burning Crusade comes around, and we're like, you know what? We don't like Burning Crusade that much, and we ended up quitting again. And then Wrath comes along, and I think Wrath is where Al originally really started playing. So we decided to do this, the podcast that we're doing, and play through Wrath with that. So that's kind of kept me from quitting, because I'm usually the one to quit. I've played with Al at various stages throughout WoW and throughout my life, and I'm always the one that ends up leaving. I get distracted by another game, and I'll go quit, and he'll be like sitting there playing alone, and messaging me, being like, "Are you gonna ever log in again?" And I'll be, "Yeah, no, totally. I'll be back. I'll play. I promise." And then
have you ever seen the movie Caveman?
I don't think so.
It stars Ringo Starr from the Beatles.
Okay.
And it also stars, oh God, what's his name? The guy that he was married to Meg Ryan forever. He was a huge actor. Oh my gosh.
Unimportant.
Google or goes looking it up. But it was Ringo Starr and him. He's also the guy from what was the movie where he got shrunk in this little machine and traveled through Martin Short's bloodstream.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
No. No.
Not Dennis Quaid, is it?
Dennis Quaid. Yeah, it has
Okay.
it has Dennis Quaid and Ben, stop.
Can
And
we just talk about the fact that I deal with this with Bob all the time because he just
hold on.
spends so much time.
Though it's the perfect metaphor for Al. If you've seen this movie, anybody, okay. In this movie, there is there's no voice in this entire movie, but it's the funniest movie I think you will ever see if you watch it. But there's one point where this huge monster is chasing all of them through ice, and they're like sliding all over the place. These like cavemen sliding all over the place, and then they finally get away from the monster. At that point, you could tell the monster didn't want to hurt him. He just wanted friends. And the monster's like walking. Hey, guys, stop. Sorry. And the monster, like, everybody's gone. The monster just goes, ooh, and he just like kicks his feet and has his head down. Oh, God damn it. Nobody's seen this movie either. Caveman, look it up.
You know what? I can picture it because that's the same face and the same noise Al makes every time I think
it's like a perfect like metaphor for it. But sorry, go ahead with your story.
Al answered in the chat Dennis Quaid, I think, before you actually came up with the answer.
Yeah, because he got inner space.
But he's still listening, is he? So he's probably sitting at home stewing at the fact that I completely left out the part where I got him hooked into the game during original Burning Crusade. But I'm sure he told that story when he was on.
All right, so sorry, I cut you off at like you were starting the podcast because you're normally the one that like cuts out, but
yeah, and that's what happened in Classic, like in like the Classic that just started, not Classic. We all played together and we were all raiding together, and eventually I got distracted by other games and stopped logging in, and Sam and Al would ask me every day, "Are you ever going to play again?" And they caught me a few times. I'd be like, "Okay, you know what? I'll get on and play," because I was getting bored. So I'd get on and play, and we'd be questing somewhere, and Sam would peek around the corner, and I'd be like on auto follow with another game open that I'm playing on the same computer. And they kept yelling at me for that. But then Wrath came, and I've wanted to make. I love podcasts. Like, it's one of my biggest hobbies. Like, I listen to them constantly.
Same.
And I've always wanted to. Not always. Okay. For a while, I've wanted to move on to the, creative side and make a podcast. And I've had a couple ideas in the past. Oh, I want to do this and it never happened. I want to do this and it never happened. And I was like, you know what? We want to play Wrath. I want to make a podcast. Let's make a podcast. And here's the hook for it. We're doing it from a casual perspective to try and get another view on this game, because there's so many hardcore or sweaty casual, as you guys call yourselves.
I mean,
there's so many of that, vein out there already.
Mm-hmm.
I saw, okay, you know what? We're casual players. There's not a lot of casual voices out there in the actual, content creation end, because, to be committed enough to the game to want to, spend every week putting out a regular podcast about it, you already got to be a little bit sweaty to be that committed,
right?
To begin with. So,
unfortunately, it keeps you on the arc going up. Like, like it really, I mean, we started out a lot more casual than, or at least me, than I am now. So
well, you always need more content, right? So I mean, eventually people get tired about you hearing about you questing in this zone or whatever. So you need more. But that's they make fun of me because that's my personality anyways. I always want to try and do a little bit better. I'm the guy in that casual guild that's tempted to leave because I feel like I'm getting too far ahead. But I mean this in the nicest way possible. Sam and Al hold me back. So they keep me there. Yeah, they always remind me like we're casual. We're the mere casuals. You can't go join the raiding guild. So I have to stay consistent because you know what, if I moved on and I joined a hardcore raiding guild or something, I'd burn myself out and I'd end up playing another game. So it's probably a fair criticism.
Well, and you know, if you don't figure out, like, it's really about the friends. I remember Mel left, like, Cataclysm, like I was gonna go on and raid with like it, like like everybody quit. I was going to raid, and I applied to like the second best guild on the server. Like it was the best guild on Horde side, like, and like I went in there. We were doing good. It was so lonely. Like I didn't know anybody. Like it wasn't what I experienced before. And it was just like, I'm going to go to Star Wars, the Old Republic. I'm out of here. And I never came back, you know, and like.
Well, here's something that hit me about this time around playing Wrath Classic. I feel like in the past with WoW, I've started playing and I've quit so many times over. It's because I never really made any real connections in game. Like I felt like there was no community, and people will blame random dungeon finder and they will blame, you know, garrisons, and they'll blame the looking for raid, and they'll blame all this stuff. But like the fact is I kept quitting because there was nothing holding me to the game. I'd play for a little bit, and it's basically single player when you're not in a guild raiding, and that can only hold you for so long because WoW is, I mean, when you think about it, it's pretty limited content wise. Like there's only so much to do. So I've noticed this time around coming back and doing this podcast and joining a guild and kind of looking for content for the podcast, I've ended up meeting a lot more people, and I've ended up having, you know, listeners of the podcast, you know, message me in game. Like someone messaged me just the other day. They're like, "Oh, hey, you're the mere casuals guy, right? Like I played over on this server, but I re-rolled over here because I heard you guys re-rolled here, and I wanted to like hang out with you." So I was like, "Oh, well, here's an invite to our, you know, crappy little guild that doesn't really do anything." And, you know, join the party. So we've got people that we've met through that podcast that we play with regularly. I've met you guys. I've talked to you guys, and I'm kind of building that community around me that's much more likely to hold me to the game than the actual content of the game.
Yep.
For sure.
Like,
I've told Bobby multiple times, if our guild disbanded, I think I'd just quit, to be honest. Like, I mean, I might go look for another guild, but like in all reality, there is a lot of times where I don't want to play, but I don't want to let them down, right? Mm-hmm. And I've built such a community there that is what keeps me going, and for the fun and for the, you know, treacherous.
Yeah, and that's what the game's really about. I think a lot of people agree that it's about the people you're playing with more than the game itself sometimes, and that's what holds people to it.
Yep. Yeah, well, and you guys have, I mean, the casual approach is hilarious because you guys don't pull any punches. Like you're like, I don't think that's right, but that's what we're going to go with. Like, you know, and like, it's hilarious. Like Mel just sits there and cracks up. She's like, that's wrong. No, it's this, and this. But like, that's the fun of it.
I knew you guys. He had it on in the car one time. He was driving me to the airport, I think. And I was like, what? That's not right.
Yeah, I don't look anything up. Like, I don't do research.
Yeah, and I think so honestly, like, it's the best part. It's the best part. It's the best part about it. Like, and then like you'll find out you're gonna learn so much because listeners are gonna write into you like, this is wrong because of this, and this, and this is wrong because of this, this, and Bob, you should be more careful. You should be more careful with what you tell the public. And I'm like, I tell the public I don't know shit. Like I'm just talking into a mic. Like, you know, like I bring on experts.
Get that so much.
Will.
We don't claim. We don't claim to know anything. That's the difference. We get on our podcast and we spout off our nonsense, and no one corrects us because nobody cares. We'll get people because we started up a Discord a while back to try and get people to in there chatting with us, and no one. I mean, the odd time someone might point out a mistake, but far more often I get people joining the Discord or message me in game and saying, you know what, I really like you guys in spite of the fact that you have no idea what you're talking about.
Yes. And you guys have so much good comedy and good synergy. I mean, I honestly, like, if I'm in the middle of a countdown to classic, and don't get me wrong, guys, I love Countdown to Classic, but if I'm in the middle of one and Mere Casuals drops, I am pausing and going to Mere Casuals for sure. Every time. Like,
and we are just, you heard it here from Bob, we are just as accurate as Countdown to Classic.
I mean, you raid more than Josh, so shots fired. But yeah, I mean, it's just good entertainment. It's just good fun. Like, is there anything else you want to like add in before we go ahead and close out here? Like, I mean, I feel like I could talk for days about how much I love the podcast and the synergy with you guys, and Al's funny work stories, and Sam like slowly bubbling up and then just yelling into the mic. Like,
yeah, I try and control that.
It's great. It's great. Like, don't control it. Like,
no, I mean the
perfect.
Volume. Like, I have the volume. There's only so much I can fix in editing when someone screams into a microphone.
Well, you have to get a compressor, because I can yell as loud as I want and it still doesn't spike out because I have a compressor.
See, that's the thing. Not only am I not an expert in WoW, I'm not even an expert in podcasting. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Well, you know, you can always ask me any question.
I'm learning as I go.
Yeah, I had never done it either, but so many people helped me, and I'm glad to pay it forward anytime you need help.
Yeah. So one more thing to add on the end. You did ask, one of your questions was how has the podcast evolved?
A lot, actually.
I've got two answers to that. One is how it's evolved so far, and two is where I see it going. So if I go back and listen to one of our early episodes, it's terrible in my opinion. It's so bad. I don't know.
There's no podcast in history that could say I went back and listened to my first episode and it was just as good as my episodes today.
I'm sure that's true, but this is a big difference. Like our audio quality was terrible.
It was terrible.
We had no idea what we were doing. We just kind of like, I'm a half planner. So I make notes before we record our episodes, and they are usually, I'll sit down with my notebook and I'll start making notes, and I'll end up with like half a page of misspelled scribbles that no one can make sense of. And that was episode 1. Like, I sat down and I made some notes and we did not follow them. I think our first episode, the goal was to get on and talk about Wrath Classic and just talk about what we wanted to do and like what our goals were for Wrath Classic. And I don't think we talked about Wrath at all. We ended up spending most of the episode talking about a BRD run we did the week before. And then we just kind of ended it. And
Josh, you actually did it right when so many do it wrong. The biggest advice that podcasters give is don't overplan. Just record anything to start, and slowly improve and build on it. If you plan everything out and you do all this work and then it like doesn't work out, or it's not like something that like you found out you didn't have as much to say about it as you thought you did, yada yada, like you've wasted so much time when really the people, like the audio quality, everything, all these things help. But really what it boils down to is the interactions and the synergy you have with your different podcasters. Like that's what it boils down to. I mean, it like add on the stuff later. You did it right.
Here's what I was going to say, because you cut me off, because I was getting to the evolution part.
Oh, that's just what I do.
Yes. Yes. So I was saying, like, I tried planning early on. I tried planning the episodes, and a few episodes in, I was like, you know what? This is dumb. And what I started doing instead is I would get Sam and Al sitting down, and I'd just start recording, and I wouldn't tell them. And I would just wait until we said something ridiculous, and there's the start of the episode. Like, I wouldn't tell them we were recording it. I just add some dumb thing on the beginning, and I was like, you know what? We don't need to plan. We're just gonna start talking. And part of the reason why I'm able to do a podcast is when I start talking, I just keep going. And I don't know how I get from point to point, and nobody else seems to know either, but I just kind of start going, and it just goes somewhere. Like, I have no idea what I'm going to talk about at the beginning of an episode, but an hour and 15 minutes later, we've been talking and we've somehow reached some point, and we just get there.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I'm finding, as far as where it's going, I'm starting to move beyond I'm trying to appeal to the WoW player phase. And I'm slowly inching into I need to criticize the WoW player phase. So I'm getting to the point where, okay, I've got my criticisms now, so I'm going to start ranting about this stuff, because we're starting to get listeners, and they're listening seemingly in spite of what I say. So I'm gonna say whatever I want now is kind of my goal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely a little bit less opinionated on the podcast than I am on my stream. Like my stream, I don't hold anything back. Like, but the podcast, I kind of like hold some stuff back. But I mean, honestly, at the end of the day, who cares? I mean, like, just like you're in this to talk into a mic and to like get what you wanted to say out. Do it. Like, I mean, I do get a lot of hate. So, I mean, like, like that'll happen, but I get a lot of love too. So
I haven't gotten any yet. I haven't gotten any negative comments from anybody, to be honest.
Do you post on YouTube?
Yes, but nobody watches them.
Yeah. That's where they really come from.
I mean, it's hard enough to get people to watch talking heads on a podcast on YouTube, then top it off with not having the talking heads, like not having the facial expressions and everything else. Like, I don't think that's going to take off at all, but it's good that it's there so that people can like find it. But like,
no, I'm just saying that podcast listeners are much nicer.
They are
than YouTube viewers. In my experience. And Reddit is just a whole nother can of worms that I don't even want to go down.
I've never looked at Reddit.
I post.
Listen, we used to post to Reddit a few times, and there were so many comments that were like, well, based off of the title, we're arguing with us. And I'm like, you can't argue if you didn't listen. Like,
title's clickbait. Oh my gosh.
They weren't even saying that. They were just like arguing the point of the title. And I'm like, okay, never mind.
Reddit is there to argue. That's the whole purpose of it.
I know.
It's where people go to believe that they know what they're talking about.
And what's funny is every time you like argue or put a comment in there, it still helps, right? Like, it still helps get you more views. So like, really, your arguing and pettiness is just helping us. So thank you.
Yeah, there you go. So people need to go to our YouTube and start leaving us negative comments.
Yeah.
I think
Doesn't
I
matter.
think when Al started, and YouTube is basically just something we use to keep Al busy because he posts all the YouTube stuff. So I think
I
on
feel
a
like
previous episode, I actually said, look, people, please come to YouTube and tell Al how bad he is at this.
just
We
okay,
need dozens of people commenting.
Josh, you all record the same room.
Yes.
Just get yourself a webcam, do the entire room. The YouTube, I think, will get better. I mean, like, you're not going to get much on
do
YouTube.
Not own a webcam,
but you can for the low price of
$29.99. On a
$29.99.
webcam right now, Bob.
No, he's on his wife's laptop webcam. But you can get that. You can record it. Like, your room looks cool. Like, I mean, it could definitely add to your YouTube viewership, but unless you do little guides, although Al is doing the shorts, which could help you grow actually quite a bit.
The shorts are good. I like the shorts.
Yeah, but like, you definitely need some visual content besides just gameplay in the background, I would think. Yeah. And everybody in the same room is a pretty cool thing.
Here's the thing, though. I've got cameras. I have professional lighting. I have tripods. I have everything I need to make, good YouTube videos. I'm just too lazy. I haven't done it yet.
It's about that. It's like a lot of effort, right? And it's still hard to break in, even if you put in the effort. But also the second thing, your podcast will change if you're live streaming it, right?
That is true.
Probably.
Bobby and I, when we first started podcasting, we didn't live stream and everything was great. Awesome. We started live streaming and you could tell there was like a 10 to 15 episode area where it was like awkward, right? Like it was like, oh, you have to like watch everything you say because you can't cut anything out. And like, I don't know. It was just weird. You have to worry about like what you look like. Like, I don't want to have to worry about what I look like. I'm talking about a podcast.
I don't worry about that.
Yeah, I know. Which would be easier for me if I was in the same room as somebody, right? And like I wasn't staring at a computer screen that also had my camera on it. Like I wish I could just hide my camera.
I've been staring at my face for 3 hours now, and it's making me super uncomfortable.
Right? It's like really awkward.
It is, dude. I'm looking at I know. And on that note, it's time to end the podcast, guys. We've gone longer than normal, and I'm going to give Josh you have one last thing to say? Do it.
This has been a solid half an Alduar 10-man run worth of podcast.
Nice.
Oh, it's so sad.
All right, don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WC Reloaded. You can follow the Mash Those Buttons Network at the MASH Network. If you want to send us an email, wcrpodcast@gmail.com. If you'd like to join our Discord, discord.me/Warcraft Reloaded, or check the link in the description. If you want to help the podcast, give us reviews, give us likes, give us whatever on YouTube, comments, anything that'll help. If you want to support the pod, you can do so by going to Patreon, link in the description. You can also find any way to help us at warcraftreloaded.com. Mel, where can we find you?
You can find me on the podcast. You can sometimes find me in Discord.
Okay.
At discord.me/Warcraft Reloaded.
And Go, where can we find you?
On YouTube at youtube.com/Classic Go, and that's Classic GHO. Thanks for correcting me last time I was on, Bob, and fixing Go with GHO and not just GO. Yeah.
I try to help everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then sometimes on Twitch too. I think it's just twitch.tv/Classic Go.
Awesome.
GHO.
And Josh, where can we find you?
You can find me on my podcast, Mere Casuals, which is on Spotify, iTunes, and a bunch of other platforms that I can't remember. We also have a YouTube channel. Feel free to check that out. You can find Mere Casuals on Twitter. We have a Discord. We don't have one of those fancy .me Discord thingies, though. I don't know how to do that. But the link to our Discord is in the. Sorry.
I was just saying, just go to discord.me. You just have
so
to
it's
add.
Easy to do.
You have to add a bot to your Discord, but it's pretty easy, and then it just makes a new link anytime somebody goes to discord.me/whatever you make it.
I'll figure it out eventually. We have the Discord. The Discord can be found in the podcast description. I also have a second podcast that I have started. If there are any EverQuest players out there, My EverQuest Addiction, search it on Spotify or whatever. And I think, and you can find me in game on Benediction as Will Riker or Will Riker.
Nice.
One has one more L than the other.
And we will have all the links to the guests in the show notes as well, so you can find it there. You can find me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me on Twitch at BlazinBob, no underscore. And yeah, that's it. We're going to get out of here, guys.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.